I'm ready and waiting. Let's have a little look. Nothing yet.
You're too keen. You're too impatient.
Andrew did send us one earlier on in the week, so I'll have a little look at that. But send us your emails and definitely send us your pictures. What you're doing in your garden, what's looking amazing, all of those sorts of things. We want to know what's happening.
One thing I can honestly say, when you shop with us here at YouGarden, you get amazing prices on YGTV. You can save so much money. Postage, just to let you know, if you're new to the show, it's $6.99 per order. However, if you manage to get your basket to over £40, and it's very easy to do that. Oh, do you know, I've just thought, Bex, we didn't bring in those blue pots, did we?
I meant to get them. You do that, I'll get the pots.
Oh, sorry, because we've got some really good pots on the show. And literally about 2 minutes before the show started, I said to Bex, we need to get the blue pots, and we both forgot. But you can easily get your order to over £40 by buying some of our brilliant pots, compost, we've got our bark, so we've got so many other items you can add to your order. And if you do manage to get it to over £40, then you will get free delivery. Now, I appreciate not everyone can spend £40 with us today, but if you're spending less than that, you will only pay $6.99 postage for everything. And those blue pots are coming up. We both love those.
I love these. I haven't placed my order yet this week. We were talking about it on Thursday about what we're gonna buy, and there's a few things going in my basket. Caribbean lily being one of them, but these are definitely going in my basket as well. I think they're stunning. So we'll come to those in a little while.
Aren't they lovely?
Gorgeous.
They look like ceramic, but they're not. So they're lightweight, they're frost-proof, UV resistant. They're coming up, but everything is available right now on the show. So just go to YouGarden.com, go to the homepage. There's a little icon at the top saying live, and that's where we are. Click onto that, and you can say watch the live show and see all of the items in it. Right, do you know what I'm thinking, Bex? Shall we start? Because it's bulb planting season.
Yeah, we should.
Should we start with the 3 for 2s?
Yeah, let's go over to the end, shall we? So we're going to start with, it's the mixed daffodil collection.
Oh, hang on, we were too quick there. Hang on. Hang on, yeah, sorry, Martin.
I ran off, didn't I?
Sorry, we both ran off, didn't we? Sorry, Martin. We will behave, I promise. We'll
do our best.
We're full of energy today, aren't we?
Aren't we just?
Yeah.
How many days off have you got this week? You got lots?
Well...
You're in here tomorrow?
Yeah, but it depends if you count all the appointments I've got with my mum. I've got an elderly mum. There's lots of exciting appointments this week.
I've got a couple of days off this week.
I'm
really looking forward to getting in the garden because I'm going to be doing what you're doing. So tidying a few things up. I've got to trim the big fritillaria because I didn't do it last year, so it needs doing this year. But I've got a couple of things that I need to move. The Loropetalum, it's in too shady a spot, so I'm going to move that out. I'm thinking about digging the Fatsia up and putting that in a pot rather than in the border.
Great time to all these things.
Loads of things I'm getting in the garden to do, but bulbs is one of them. I was going to
say, and I'm only joking, I have got a couple of days free to myself, so I will be. So for my mum, I think my mum's watching today.
Morning!
Just one of those weeks, we've got all the boring stuff to do. But I have got 2 days off in the garden.
Lovely.
So yes, both of us will be planting bulbs. And when you look at the variety, we've got some classics, we've got some really unusual rare ones, something for everybody, but it is a 3 for 2 offer. So you can mix and match, for 3 of the same, like we've put here, or you can go for 3 completely different ones, or 2 of the same or 1 different. Shall we start with the classic mixed daffodils?
Classic mixed daffodils. Do you know, I slap myself on the wrist. I do not have any daffodils in my garden.
No.
None whatsoever. So this is the year I'm going to start off my collection of daffodils. I know, crazy, isn't it?
I remember you had loads of tulips last year.
Loads of tulips, yeah. But I'm definitely planting daffodils this year because the great thing about daffodils, of course, is they're really long-lasting. So once you plant daffodils, of course, they will come back for you year after year. They will naturalise, they will spread. And in this collection, these are the taller ones. So these are great for putting in pots and borders, and they will naturalise over the years and just keep coming back for you.
Yeah, and you've got such a lovely variety. Lots of mixed daffodils here, so different centres. You've got oranges, yellows, cream colours. Really amazing quality bulbs as well, and this is so important. When you look at the size of the bulbs, they're really big size, and size does matter with bulbs. If you buy a smaller daffodil bulb, the flowers will be smaller, or they may not actually produce a flower. But also, they're really firm, aren't they?
Yeah, well, look, so, you can see that's the size of one of the daffodil bulbs there. They've got nice, tall, pointy bits on the top there, so you know which way you're going to be planting these very, very easily. But solid, there's nothing squishy about this. And look, that is 1 pack of 25 bulbs right there. So if you're going to get 3 packs of these, you're going to get 3 packs of that size. But of course, remember, as Shaun said, you can mix and match. So maybe I don't know, maybe 75 daffodil bulbs is too many for you. Maybe you want 50. Then you can go for another pack of one of the other bulbs to add in. However, what I'm going to suggest is maybe you go for 75 of these and you have, say, I don't know, 50 of them that are going to naturalise in your garden, and the other 25 you plant as being able to use as cut flowers.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Now, if you use them as cut flowers, those bulbs likely aren't going to come back for you next year because you're cutting away the flower, but you've got plenty with 75 to be able to do both.
Yeah. And they may come back, as long as if you leave the leaves on.
You might be able to, but I would just bear that in mind.
Yeah,
but with 75, you've got plenty to be able to do both jobs.
And all you need to do with daffodils, they like a bright sunny position, they like well-drained soil. Bex and I were talking about bulbs actually, and it is important, just a golden rule, plant them in well-drained soil or compost. If they have in pots, just make sure they've got good drainage. We had a very wet winter last year and some bulbs did rot away. Most bulbs hate to be in soggy conditions, so bear that in mind. But yes, I mean, I come from York, and the bar walls that surround the city, the old Roman walls, they've got tens, hundreds of thousands of daffodils on there, and they come back every single year. But some lovely varieties in them, aren't they?
Absolutely gorgeous, yeah. I mean, you've got, obviously, whenever we think of daffodils, you think of the classic sort of yellow trumpet-shaped daffodil, and that's great. You'll probably get some of those included in here as well. But I love the fact that you've got some really sort of unusual varieties, not just the classic trumpet shape, but some of the, you know, the paler coloured ones or the frillier petalled ones. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous mix, and I think all of those sort of mixed in together is going to look really pretty.
And some really kind of flamboyant centres there, some doubles and all sorts. So it is a mix and match, so if you want to add that to your mix and match order, 600 180. And also, don't forget, if you're one of our 45 club members, no, not 45.
45,000. Only 45.
Yeah, if you're one of our massive 45 club members, yes, I was going to get the 1,000 index, so just a little pause. One of the many 45,000 club members. Yeah, 45 wouldn't be many to boast about, would it? Yes, no, it's not. But you will get your 10% discount. And if you're not a club member, if you're not one of the 45,000 club members, then you can join today for just £5 a year on auto renewal. Then you get 10% off your entire order today. Right, we're going to move on to our Dutch iris collection, and these are amazing value.
Yeah, so
100.
Is it £100?
Yeah.
Oh my word.
I know.
So you could get 300 of these if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
I mean, these look great in clumps.
Definitely.
You know, you don't want to plant these individually at all. So yeah, definitely be planting them in groups of probably sort of 12 to 15, I would suggest. The colour mix is incredible. The yellow, the white, the purple, the kind of lighter purple colours. That is a really good colour combination. And these reach, I mean, they can get quite tall, can't they? They can get a good sort of 50, 60 centimetres height.
So great for like middle of the border.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll be honest, I've never really grown these in, I mean, I've never put them in things like hanging baskets.
No, I think they're too tall, personally.
But certain pots, big size pots, but great in beds and borders. But I love the flowers, don't you?
I think these would look great in those blue pots, actually.
Yeah, I do.
These would look great in those blue pots. But yeah, in your beds and borders, in your pots, about a couple of feet height they're going to get to. Really gorgeous colour mix. They're nice and sturdy as well. This is what I would say about them. They, you know, they should be able to stand up to that.
Yeah, that's a good
British
point, actually.
weather.
I must admit, I hate things that need... No, I don't hate things that need staking.
It can be a bit frustrating.
Yeah.
You know, I've had to stake a few of my lilies and things, and that, you know. But these should be able to withstand them, and they will also naturalise as well. So just like your daffodils, these should naturalise and form clumps and reliably come for you every year. You do get incredible results with these for very little effort. All you have to do is plant them.
And in 100, I mean, it works out about 10 pence a bulb,
and it's not going to take you long to plant these because they're not massive bulbs. They're great quality, professional standard, obviously, but they're not massive bulbs. So if you are getting 300 of these, don't be daunted. Oh my word, I'm going to have 300 bulbs to plant. That is not going to take very long because they don't need to go too deep. So you're not going to be digging down for ages.
And all of our bulbs, on the packaging, all the planting instructions are there, but the general rule is whatever size the bulb is, you plant it twice its depth, 2 to 3 times its depth, but all the planting instructions are on the packets. Now, so I've grown both of those.
Yeah.
But I've never grown the fritillaria, or snake's head.
This is one that we both want to add in, isn't it, this time to our baskets, because neither of us have grown this one. And this is going to sit in the weird and wonderful category. We know you love the weird and wonderful. We like our staples, absolutely, but the weird and wonderful is fantastic.
And when you know, I've just said it's got a nickname, a popular name of snake's head, but when you actually look at the petals on the flowers, they do look like the most beautiful exotic snake skins, don't they?
Yeah.
Quite incredible, actually.
For such an exotic-looking flower, you think, OK, that's going to take a bit of extra work, they're going to need looking after, and you're just going to plant these the same as you would your daffodils or your iris. Get these planted out, and then springtime next year, April and May time, the most amazing flowers are going to appear. These lovely bell-shaped, and then they've got these nodding heads on them. They look, I mean, they're reminiscent of the shape of a snowdrop, for example, the way you get those lovely nodding heads. But these are larger flowers, and they are incredible. Very versatile, pots and borders again, and they will come back for you year after year as well.
And I'm just looking at them. They do look really good on mass, don't they?
I love that mixture as
well.
I
do.
The colour, you know, together, the lighter colour, the darker colour, it really makes it all stand out. And these are award-winning too. They've got the Royal Horticultural Society Award of Garden Merit. So that just gives us a little bit of peace of mind, doesn't it? The RHS AGM doesn't always mean easy to grow, but it does mean garden-worthy and across the UK.
And I'd say reliable.
Reliable, definitely, yes.
Just like us Becks. And the pollinators will love these as well. 600-133. Yes, if the head gardener Peter's watching today, we are reliable, Peter, aren't we?
Yeah, honest.
Yeah, we have been, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
These can go in a shadier position as well, by the way. These don't need to be in the fullest, sunniest position.
No, I was thinking I've got an area where I've got a big tree and it always looks really boring underneath. I mean, the snowdrops will look great there, but then when they've gone over, that is it. So yeah, I'm thinking of planting these in my shady corner underneath my tree. So brand new for me and Bex. We've never grown them before. If you want to try them today, 600-133. Now, something I'm sure many of our gardening friends out there will have grown on numerous occasions, the crocus. And I love crocus because Bex and I were talking about winter, and it does drag. I'm all right up to Christmas because you've got that to look forward to, New Year. And then January and February are pretty rubbish months.
They're the worst months of the year.
They are.
Worst months. They seem to take forever.
And you get so down, and like the nights seem so long, don't they, in January and the beginning of February. But when the crocus come through the frosty ground or the snow even, and they burst into colour, it just gives you such hope, doesn't it? And you realise that spring is here and that summer's on its way and that February will soon be over. So that is why I think crocus are so important to have in any spring garden. But these are the large flowered ones.
They're the large flowered ones, and they're the yellow ones.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to the colour palette in your garden, the hot colours, the yellows, the oranges, the reds, the reason we love those is that they're a focal point. They draw the eye more than the cooler colours. They make us think of heat. They make us think of sunshine. And when we were talking about February and January being cold, dark, miserable, we want something that's going to make us think of sunshine and heat and warmth, and large flowered yellow crocus are definitely going to do that for you. And these can be planted in so many places as well. I did lawn drifts with my crocus last year. They look lovely poking up through the lawn. Of course, you're not mowing the lawn at that time, so it's fine to do that. But so many places you can put them.
Yeah, again, they look great under trees. They will tolerate a sort of like fairly shady spot as well. And one thing I would say about crocus, just from my own experience last year, because it was quite a wet February, the ones for me that did better were those that were in a slightly more sheltered area. So think about those little areas in your garden, there's little nooks and crannies where you can plant them. But yeah, they look great in pots, containers, hanging baskets, beds, borders, in your lawns. They look great pretty much everywhere.
I like that in the top of hanging baskets. That'd be really pretty, wouldn't it?
Because they're not too big.
Yeah, really nice.
I love crocus. And it is worth making a bit of an effort right now, planting your bulbs, because the rewards in spring will be absolutely huge. And then, now something, you'll know if you're regular, Bex and I, last year, we waxed lyrical about the Caribbean lily, and we both had it on our wish list, didn't we? We were going to order, and I think it sold out, and then the time passed us by, didn't it?
The time passed us by, we kept meaning to order it, and then by the time we looked to actually do it, it had sold out because it was super popular. It's looking like it's going the same way again this year. Very, very popular.
The thing is, we forgot all about it. And then suddenly, a lot of your images started being sent in of your fabulous Caribbean lilies, and we were so envious, weren't we?
Mad.
We were like, why don't we have those in our garden? So we have ordered them this year. Are you going to grow yours in the blue pots, do you think?
Well, so I'm going to place my order.
Oh,
so
you've not done it yet?
I've not done it yet. I'm going to do
have.
it this afternoon. So Caribbean lilies on there, and I do like the idea of them going in the blue pot. So yeah, maybe I'll do that.
You've got loads.
I've got loads.
Yeah, I'm sure you've got lots of pots. But if you haven't, or you want some more, we have got some on the show. But when you look at, first of all, the size of the bulbs, it's a big bulb, isn't it?
It is a big bulb.
Look at
yeah.
it.
So you'll get 3 of them in each pack. I would suggest going for 3 of these as one of your, mix and match, but not mix and match. Just get 3 of these, and then do another order and mix and match with the others. Because I think having 9 of these around your garden will be incredible. Now, when it comes to planting these, I know we often say 2 to 3 times the depth of the size of the bulb. These actually want to be slightly shallower planted, so just below the surface of the compost.
So you can see that some of these are just beginning to sprout, so that would just literally be beneath the top layer of the compost.
Yeah. And then you're going to get those pictures. That picture you can see there. We showed you pictures of customer images, and hopefully in a little while, when we come back to these, I will show you them again because I'm sure I've still got them on the emails here. But these are so much like what you will get.
And I love the way that they open, don't you? So they open from the bottom, but you've still got that lovely kind of cone in the middle with the lime green. We said a little bit of a cross between an allium and a hyacinth, but they are so much more exotic. We can honestly say we had some of the most stunning images of these from you last year. It's the Scilla peruviana. We know it as the Caribbean lily. It is a mix and match. It grows about 30 centimetres, so a reasonable size. And they should come back every single year. But I think they're one of the most beautiful, exotic-looking bulbs that we've ever seen.
They really
here on
are.
YGTV.
And we got some pictures. I mean, I'm going to show you Anthony's first, just because this is an amazing picture. It looks like a marketing picture.
Doesn't it?
Very good with his camera there, but that is a customer image right there. I'll show you a couple of the others, though, as well, if I can, because they are all absolutely beautiful, and they all came through amazingly.
And
so
it's
that
fair
one
to
was
say,
Anthony's.
just the overall reviews and the feedback, it was so strong for the Caribbean lily. All of you pretty much had amazing results with it. But you do need to order. They sold out last year. They are part of the mix and match. I've already placed my order because I didn't want to miss out a second time. I really didn't. 630-045. And we are doing, say, 3 bulbs for $9.99. But if you mix and match, you'll get 9 bulbs for just under £20.
This one is Malcolm's. So Malcolm sent us this picture. And this is the reason I'm showing you these images, because I want you to see the results that you can achieve. I fell in love with the way that these open up, because they have these clusters in the centre. And of course, the outer flowers open first, and then they gradually open up towards the centre. So there's loads of interest with this.
And what was really noticeable, most of you planted your Caribbean lily just by itself, and we are in agreement with that. It's such a stunning flower that it really doesn't need anything with it. It just looks good in a pot by itself. It's beautiful, isn't it?
I just want to show Niels as well, if
morning,
you don't
Neil.
mind.
Neil's
Good
watching. Morning, Neil.
Because this one, I really like what he did with this one. So it's in a planter that is obviously hung over the edge of his fence there, and that just is standout, isn't it? I love it with that butterfly thing around the edge.
I was going to say, they're not real butterflies, by the way, but they look fabulous. Neil, I love what you've done there.
I think that's gorgeous.
It just puts a smile on your face, doesn't it?
Look, you can see it's just starting to open up, and that obviously just kept looking amazing. So yeah, well done to all of you that got yours last year. And
that looks like just one bulb there. So you get really nice foliage as well, don't you?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Really makes the flowers stand out.
Yeah. So thank you, Neil. He's one of our regulars. We like Neil, don't we?
We love Neil.
Yeah.
We love you all. Thanks.
We do love you all. We really do. So it's the Scilla peruviana, Caribbean lily. You get 3 big bulbs. The size of the bulbs, it's pretty similar to an amaryllis size. So it's a big bulb, and that's what produces such wonderful big flowers and all that gorgeous foliage as well. 630-045. Now we have got muscari coming up next, and we know muscari is the grape hyacinth, the miniature hyacinth, but we've got white ones, which are so much rarer.
Muscari album. I don't ever remember sort of seeing these.
No, I don't.
You see the purple ones growing, and they are fantastic. I love them because they're quite they're quite vigorous in how they naturalise and spread, and that, in this sense, I'm going to say that is a fantastic thing, because these pop up, they spread, they create this gorgeous carpet of colour, but then they really are quite neat and tidy. They tidy up after themselves. Some you're waiting for the foliage to die down for ages, but muscari just tidy up after themselves.
Some bulbs, let's be honest, you are waiting what seems forever for that foliage to finally die down.
not these.
No, but the white is, and I always think white in any garden just lifts all the other colours, doesn't it?
Definitely.
There's a freshness to white, and you are getting an amazing 30 bulbs. I don't know why the muscari album is rarer, but you just don't see the white as much.
You just don't see it. So
But
if you've already got the purple muscari in your garden, you know where that's going to pop up next year, just dot a few of these bulbs in around there, and honestly, that purple and that white together is going to be incredible. It's going to really make each of the colours stand out.
Do you know what? And I'm going to be really honest with you. This morning I was thinking, oh, how many bulbs can we bother to plant? And now I want to plant
all of them.
All of them. I do. I feel inspired just looking at these, because it is important to have that spring colour. It really is. And sometimes we get beautiful days in the springtime. You want to make the most of your gardens after that long winter, which I'm sure we'll have. And these are a bit of a woodland bulb, so they're great again in slightly shady areas around trees, things like that.
Yeah, definitely.
But they look nice in pots and containers and hanging baskets.
Yeah, do you know what? A pot with just these in would look beautiful. And what I do with my pots, over the winter and coming into the spring is I actually put them on the table outside, so they're not just on the ground.
Yeah.
I do like lifting them up.
And then you get to see them from the kitchen window, don't you?
That's it. I can look out my kitchen window, the table is right out there, and I just have this gorgeous floral display on the table. So don't just think about pots in the ground or borders. You know, there are other ways that you can display them.
Well, fantastic to have the white muscari on the show, and as Bex said, they naturalise, they spread. You know, you're going to have those in your garden for many years to come. 60115, and then we've got, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got one final one. There are 7 to choose from in the mix and match promotion, and remember, you'll get 3 for the price of 2. No matter which ones you go for, the third one will be free. We're going to finish with the Gladioli, but a very special one.
It is very special. It's an award winner, first of all. It's got the Royal Horticultural Society Award of Garden Merit, so garden worthy, you know, definitely worth planting in your garden. But the colour of these, this lovely magenta, sort of
I'd say it's
pinky...
like it's the colour of your blouse.
Almost,
Almost.
isn't it?
It's like a cerise to me, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a gorgeous colour here.
Actually,
I love how...
your blouse looks a bit redder on camera.
It looks redder on camera, but pinker in real life.
Yes. Like me, I look redder on camera, but I'm pinker in real life. I do get a bit rosy cheeks, don't I? But yeah, it's a lovely colour. We digress. It's a gorgeous colour.
I love Gladioli because they add height.
Yes.
You know, they're quite almost exotic and tropical looking, but definitely not exotic and tropical for our gardens. Really easy to plant, but they do add that lovely height that you might be looking for. Particularly, I mean, muscari is nice and ground hugging. This is going to get to a good couple of feet in height. So if you are planting these out into borders, just bear in mind probably middle of the border is where you're going to want them.
But they don't get as tall as certain other Gladioli.
No.
So like mid-size, about 60 centimetres.
And definitely plant these in clumps together. You know, you want multiples of these all popping up. They're going to flower. They're slightly later, so still spring, but later spring and into early summer. So probably May and June time is where these are going to come up for you. But again, another one that's going to sort of open in succession, which I quite like because it does extend. You don't just get one flower. Lovely. I'll enjoy it for while it's there. You get them opening in succession, so it extends it a little bit.
Yes. Lovely selection there.
Gorgeous.
Absolutely gorgeous. And you can pick whatever you want. So it is 3 for the price of 2, but that's the Gladiolus byzantinus there, 60241. Now, just very quickly, if you have just joined us, good morning.
Hello.
Welcome to YouGarden TV with myself, Shaun Ryan, and the wonderful Bex Edwards. But do start sending in your messages, your comments, any questions. We would love to hear from you live this Sunday morning. And say hello to Martin, because Stu's in York, apparently, has it, for the day.
Is that what he's doing?
Yes, which is where I'm from, York.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, very nice city. But Stu's away for the day. He's having a day out. So we have got Martin, who's doing a great job in charge of technical.
So far, so good.
Yes.
So far, so good.
Just touching a bit of wood. There's quite a lot in the potting shed, but it's all going rather well. Isn't it, Bex?
It is. It's going really well.
Yes. I hope I've not cursed it now. Anyway, yes, let's remind you of all of the great bulbs that are available on the Mix and Match 3 for 2. So, you've got the Gladiolus there at 60241, but There are 7 to choose from, and we started with those gorgeous mixed daffodils. 25 daffodils for just £9.99. Lots of different varieties in here, so you've got doubles, you've got different coloured trumpets, oranges, creams, yellows, pale yellow, peach colours there, but daffodils, they are for me the heart of spring. They really are. Think about Mother's Day. Mother's Day would not be Mother's Day without daffodils. They're one of the easiest bulbs to grow. They're really reliable. They naturalise, they spread, and they are, I think, one of the most beautiful spring flowers. They always open up when you know that spring is finally here. 600 180, and remember 25 big bulbs, really great quality at £9.99. Then we brought you the Dutch Iris collection. Now this is amazing, 100 bulbs for just £9.99. And I love irises, I love the little faces on them. They remind me of kind of like exotic birds. And a lot of the flowers are bi or tricolour, so on a single flower you may see 2 or 3 colours. Beautiful purples, blues, yellows, whites, just magnificent. And they look great en masse. And the great thing is when you get 100 bulbs, you really can afford to have several clumps of these in your garden as well. And that is 600 212. Then we had the Weird and Wonderful collection. And this is the fritillaria, often known as the snake's head. And the reason being, as you can see there on the screen, the petals on these gorgeous nodding flowers, they look like some of the most exotic snakeskins in the world. They are rather magnificent. That is beautiful, isn't it? One of my friends has got a red faux snakeskin handbag, and it reminds me of that. Just absolutely divine. So it's weird, it's wonderful. Don't be put off by the exotic look of this bulb, because actually it's exceptionally easy to grow. And these will tolerate quite a shady position as well. So if you've got that awkward area underneath the tree, then put your fritillaria in there, the snake's head, 600 133. Now, one of the first spring flying bulbs just after your snowdrops, it is of course the crocus, and this is really when you get the first bursts of spring colour. And what you've got here are these gorgeous large flowered, big large flowered crocus in this sensational yellowy orange. They can go anywhere. Crocus, you see them growing under trees, you can plant them in your lawns, you can plant them in hanging baskets, pots, containers, beds, borders. They are one of the most beautiful spring flying bulbs. And again, they do tend to naturalise and come back year after year. Then we brought you something that I've already ordered, something that Bex is going to order. I hope she forgets, but she's like, no, I won't forget, I'm going to order. Now, jokes apart, we both missed out on this last year. So we're both going to be growing this year. And we're not competitive at all when it comes to growing up bulbs, are we, Bex?
Not in the slide.
No, of course we're not. Here's mine. No, jokes apart, we do sometimes like to grow the same things, sometimes grow different things, but we both want to grow the Caribbean lily because we both missed out on it last year, and your pictures were amazing. And yes, we were super envious. So it is known as the Scilla peruviana Caribbean lily, and it is on the 3 for 2 mix and match. And these just look sensational. They're unusual, they're weird, wonderful, beautiful, exotic, and remarkably easy to grow. Yes, love those. Then we also brought you the muscari. Now, muscari, they're commonly known as the grape hyacinth, but we think of them as being the bluey purpley colour. But we have got the album, which is a really pure white muscari. Now, muscari are super easy to grow. They naturalise at a rate of knots. It's amazing in what an area these can cover over a number of years. They just divide, they just spread and spread and spread. You can, of course, divide them, move the clumps around the garden, but very reliable. Again, can tolerate a shady sort of woodland environment as well as your pots and containers, and you get 30 bulbs for just £9.99, 600 115. And then last but by no means least, we brought you the Gladiolus byzantinus. These are a kind of mid-sized gladioli, so around about 60 centimetres, but they have got the most stunning cerise flowers. They are just beautiful. And again, I think they're one that really look good on mass and in clumps. You get 35 bulbs for just £9.99. Just a few quick reminders. If you are spending over £40 with us today, you get free delivery. You've got the free latest magazine, which is, if you got the copy last week, that would be, that was dated, I think, the 7th of September. This will be dated the 14th. And it's Garden News, which is the top-selling gardeners magazine in the UK. All the top gardeners write for it. Nick Bailey, Carol Klein's in there, Peter McDermott, our head gardener, Shaun Ryan, Bex Edwards. Well, no, we haven't written anything.
One day, maybe.
I'd love to write something.
Yeah, definitely.
If the editor's watching, we'll do it for free. We'd love to write something in there. But it is a brilliant magazine for free. If the editor is watching, it's like, oh yeah, sign him up for free. I'm next. No, but it's such a good magazine, and it really is just wonderful to be able to give that as a free gift. The only rule is on YGTV, you have to put in the offer code to unleash all of the offers, all of the promotions. It's YGTV3724. There's a different offer code every single week as well. What are you reading?
Nick Bailey, better buy bulbs now. There's a shortage coming, so get your orders in quickly to avoid disappointment.
Do you know that is so true? Bulbs have had a really bad year because of all the wet weather. So, yeah, get your bulb orders in now.
Absolutely.
You better get that coming in. Lily ordered, Bex.
As soon as we come off air, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
That and the blue pots, for sure.
I'd hate you to miss out and me to have all of them.
Yeah, but this is another one, this is another one I want to add in, actually, Lobelia Queen Victoria, because this is a stunner.
Yeah, it is.
I adore this one, and again, it's not one I've got in my garden as yet, so I think now is the time to get this, particularly because look at the price.
I know.
£6.99, you will get 3 of these 9 centimetre pots. That's a great price. Was it £2.10 if you're in the club?
Yeah.
Per pot.
And £2.33 if you're not.
That is a great price, honestly.
That price on the screen, if that was for one, it'd be an amazing deal.
It blew our mind earlier on, didn't we? Because we'd sort of skipped over how little this was going to cost. And then when it came up on screen, we were both going, oh. So, Shaun, I suggested you plant these around your pampas, didn't I?
Yes.
And I know that might sound weird, because I initially thought that was weird, but I saw a picture of the Lobelia Queen Victoria growing around somebody's pampas grass, and honestly, it's incredible because you've got the dark foliage of the Lobelia, really dark, moody, burgundy-coloured foliage, but then at the top,
look at this,
reaching about 3 feet in height, you get the most exotic-looking, bright red flower, and these are red, aren't they?
And
Scarlet.
And don't confuse these with bedding Lobelia. This is the perennial. We say hardy to -5, so depending on where you live, it might need a little bit of protection. We say hardy to -5, but it is about the height and the drama, and that, you're right, that red against that moody burgundy foliage. I like that word, Bex, moody.
It is, it's really moody. And then if you put that in front of something lighter coloured, like your pampas grass, honestly, it's a marriage made in heaven. It looks so pretty.
I feel so inspired this morning, don't you? I really do.
It's an award winner as well. So this has the Royal Horticultural Society Award of Garden Merit, totally garden worthy. It's met their special criteria and they've given it that award. It will form clumps too. So over the space of sort of 2 to 3 years, you will want to divide those clumps, not only because it gives you free plants, but because it maintains the vigour of the plant. You know, once it gets a bit too congested, it might slow down a little bit. So this is why dividing clumps is important. You will get those free plants and that's great, but you want to make sure the plant stays nice and healthy.
And September is a brilliant time to plant your perennials, to move things around. The ground is warm, it's workable, the temperatures are dropping a little bit, so it's the perfect time to plant your perennials and then reap all of those rewards next year. You can plant it in springtime. You know, this is a great one to plant in springtime, but you imagine, if you plant it now, it's going to get a head start. It's going to have 6 or 7 months to really establish. And you know, we may have quite a mild winter, and it may be that this actually really gets established for springtime. But yeah, great time to plant, and £6.99 for 3 of those is extraordinary value. And I know one of my mum's friends, Terry, who only got into gardening in his 80s, he grew these last year, doing the front of his garden because they love a sunny spot and he gets full sun in his front garden. And they looked magnificent. You often see these in commercial displays, things like roundabouts. You see them in the centre because you've got the drama and you've got the height. So yes,
they're definitely attention grabbing. You know, you can't help but stop and look when you see the Lobelia Queen Victoria growing. And of course, pollinators adore them as well.
Yeah.
They can't resist the Lobelia. Love them.
I'm just laughing because that price is just ridiculous, isn't it?
Silly, isn't it?
See, so...
It should be our deal of the week, to be honest, at that price.
It
That should be a deal of the week.
Deal of the year. Loads of you have ordered them this week, though, so don't leave it too long.
This one is $6.99. Our postage is $6.99. So this is a great one if you are paying postage on your order. If your order is at about, I don't know, £36, £37, and you're paying $6.99 postage, don't do that. Add these in, because that will take the postage away, and you'll actually then get these lovely plants, perennials, for you to put into your garden.
And what I will say, if you're thinking, I don't need too many plants today, and your order's maybe, say, like £20 or so, just get some compost, because you're bound to be. September's a great time for planting things up. You know, so we've got plants that are a little bit pot bound right now. It's a great time to do your winter hanging baskets and things like that. So try and get your order to over £40 and we will give you free delivery as well. Now we're going to move on to our next perennial collection, which is the Rudbeckia Goldsturm, another favourite. And this is one of your really popular plants in your garden.
I say popular,
it's one that you give a lot of love to, don't you?
I do love it. Well, I give a lot of love it, as in I appreciate it, but I haven't actually touched it since I planted it, and that's what I do love about this.
Yeah, you haven't. You've let it do its own thing.
I just leave it alone. So I planted it about, I don't know, 2 years ago. This is the second year, basically, that I've had it, and it is absolutely stunning. One plant I put in. First year, I got about 15 flowers from it. I was dead impressed with that. This year, it's doubled in size, and this is the great thing about Rudbeckia, and the fact that it's later flowering. So a lot of things in my garden are starting to just, slow down. Dahlias are still looking fantastic, but a lot of other things are just starting to, not die off, but just slow down.
Yeah, go slightly over.
Rudbeckia is amazing, and I've done absolutely nothing to it other than plant it and give it a bit of water occasionally.
I love it when you find a plant that doesn't need lots of attention and fuss.
Just doesn't.
I can't remember which famous gardener said it, but they said that 70% of your garden should be low maintenance on average. Because if it's all high maintenance, if every single plant needs you to be fussing at it day and night, it becomes too much of a labour of love. So the fact that you've done nothing with yours and it looks fabulous is pretty amazing. And again, at this time of year, the pollinators, they're still around, aren't they?
Yeah, pollinators are still around. It's this lovely bright yellow colour as well, with that really dark centre that you've got there. So it's a proper standout one. So even on a darker, duller day, this really does stand out in the border. And the flowers last for ages. So mine came up, about 5-6 weeks ago. The flowers look as good now as they did when they first appeared. So it's a really long-lasting flower in your garden.
Hang on.
And later flowering as well.
Again, and
I know, again, $6.99.
For three?
For three of them. I'd get the Lobelia and the Rudbeckia. So the Lobelia will come up and start flowering first. The Rudbeckia will come up next. This one's slightly shorter than the Lobelia, so you could probably put the Lobelia behind. You've got the yellows and the reds together. Oh, nice.
If our head gardener Peter's watching right now, what are we doing giving 3 away at $6.99? I mean, loads of you, 45,000 of you are club members, so you're going to snap 3 of these up at £6.29. And again, it could not be a better time to plant these and to get them established for next year. And we should say the Rudbeckia Goldsturm fully winter hardy as well.
Yeah, fully winter hardy. As I say, I've done nothing to it. I just let it die down on its own. I mean, you can trim it back once it's all gone over, but I just leave it to do its thing. And then it reliably has come up and will do for years. Again, you can divide this as well. So probably next year is when I'll divide mine and I'll create another patch of it somewhere else in the garden. It's beautiful plant, and I was just looking, so Lobelia, and then we've got Echinacea coming up next. Create that cottage garden style feel with these 3 plants. It'd be amazing. We've
called this a favourites table because we had a show on Thursday and you loved everything here. So lots of new viewers today, obviously on a Sunday, but at these kind of prices, definitely don't wait around. And our Echinacea is up next, the Papallo orange. The colour on this one is just...
It's stunning, isn't it?
It's so impressive.
So there's some sort of orangey reds, but then you've got some pinky reds in there as well. So I love and the cone in the centre. That is a really solid cone.
And the new flowers, it's just such a lovely journey because you're right, there are so many different shades of like oranges and yellows depending on the age of the flower.
Yeah.
But that cone is surprisingly firm, isn't it?
Surprisingly solid, you know, and it's got the reflexed petals, so the ones that sort of drape downwards, reflexed petals that really hold that cone right in the centre, loud and proud, which is going to invite the pollinators
I was going to say, that must be like the best landing pad for a bee. You know, the bee's not going to miss it. It's not going to fall off, not the devil would. But, you know, they are really quite impressive.
Those little yellow bits that you can start seeing appear on the cone, that is the pollen that, that they love. And I mean, I'd say this is very wildlife friendly. We often talk about wildlife friendly. They love this one. It's late summer flowers again, so this will probably start sort of around, I don't know, July and August time, but it keeps going for you. As you can see, it's still in full bloom right now. So this is all about extending that summer season of interest. You do want to deadhead these, so as the flowers go over, you want to just chop a few of them off, and that will encourage more to come through. But it's a long-lasting flower. Just like the Rudbeckia, this stays looking good for ages on the plant. You can, of course, cut the flowers and have them as part of your cut flower displays, but you'll get weeks out of these flowers, 6 weeks probably at least.
Wow. I mean, and again, you've got all three of them for $10.99. Now, they may arrive in flower. They may have been cut back. Don't worry if they don't have flowers on, because actually, yes, it's nice to, when they arrive, to have some flowers on, but actually the main thing you need to do really at this time, September, is just get them planted and get them established and enjoy them next year. But a lot of them on the nursery do actually have flowers on.
They do. There's so much colour left, you know, there really is. We don't need to give up on our gardens once summer starts to come to an end. There's lots that we can do. Ooh. It's all about getting as much colour for as long as possible.
We had a barbecue last night.
Did you?
Yeah. We had the electric heater on that as well. Yeah.
I mean, the days are still lovely and warm,
they
aren't they?
I mean, it's gorgeous outside.
The temperature drops a little bit at night time and in the mornings, but it's still beautifully warm during the day.
And I mean, I think lots of us gardeners, we just want to enjoy every moment we can in the garden. And Bex and I, you know, we'll go out even when it's freezing cold wrapped up, won't we?
You've just got to get the right clothes on, that's all.
Yeah, that's it. It's all about what you wear.
It's all about what you wear.
Now, we're going to move on to my absolute favourite right now in my garden, the Verbena bonariensis. My Verbena has flowered now for, I would say, it started June, so June, July, August, September.
Yeah.
It still looks amazing. And even though some of the flowers have gone over, they're still actually really attractive. But I only planted mine a year and a half ago, and this year they're nearly as tall as me.
Yeah.
The pollinators have loved them. And they've actually self-seeded, so I've got lots of little baby ones all around. But I can only say Verbena bonariensis, we call it the transparent plant, because wherever you place it, it never dominates, so you can always see through it, but it really adds to all the other plants in your garden. It fills in those gaps. Oh, great, actually, Martin, yeah, thank you. So we actually filmed, we came down to a bit of filming in my garden a few weeks ago. No, it wasn't just a jolly. No, it wasn't, Bex.
No.
I mean,
they didn't have a lovely time without me, eating burgers and pottering around in the garden. You know, my idea of heaven, but I didn't go. I'm only joking.
But we did have a lovely day, but most importantly, you get to see some of the plants that I've got from YouGarden and my own garden. So here's the Verbena bonariensis. Well, this edge of my patio looks a little bit severe and harsh, I think you'll agree. But if I take you around this side, I actually planted last year Verbena bonariensis, and I just love this because you still get the view, but it softens the whole border, and I just adore these like pom-poms of purple. And it's a massive one for the pollinators as well. You get so many bees just dancing around here. But Verbena bonariensis, it's often known as a transparent plant, and what it does, it really highlights other plants in your beds and borders without dominating. You can always see through it. You've got these lovely kind of, I always call them like plants that look like they've done Pilates, because you've got these long, lean kind of stems and side stems, and there's these little purple pom-poms on the edge of every one. So they never block, they never dominate, they never overtake, but they complement all the other plants in the garden. Now, these are in full flower right now. Last year, I let them go to seed. I want to show you what's happened. So if you come and take a look down here, I mentioned that I let these go to seed last year. They look really attractive during the winter, but look, there are now hundreds of mini Verbena bonariensis. Loads and loads of these. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to dig these up and I'm going to plant them all the way around the garden. So imagine what I've got here. I can have the other side of the patio, and then I really want, that border's a bit dull over there, so I'm just going to plant dozens of Verbena bonariensis, and I think it's going to look great. And all these plants were free just from the seeds from these. That was such a really difficult day filming.
I know, it looked really hard.
It was really tough.
He's got a tough job, hasn't he?
Yeah, it was really hard. Now, jokes apart, Bex and I love sharing what we've bought from YouGarden, what we've grown with you, and we love it when you share as well. Loads of you sending in pictures. But you can see what an amazing plant that Verbena bonariensis is, and say if you want to let the flowers go over in the winter and don't deadhead, you may well get some little babies as well. But I cannot recommend it highly enough. And you get 3 again for just £9.99. It's a stunner.
Just get all of those.
Absolutely.
Honestly, all of those perennials in your garden. You know, you've got the lovely hot fiery colours there. You've got the cooler colour of the purple over here, but that matches perfectly with the yellow of the Rudbeckia there. I've got my Verbena near my Rudbeckia as well. Those 4. Just don't even think about those. Get those in your basket. If you haven't got them already in your garden, you need those.
I mean, we're not just saying this, and you'll know if you're regular. These are some of the best prices we have ever done on YouGarden. They are just ridiculous. I don't know how we're actually doing it, and I really mean that. And if you're not a club member, join now, and you'll get 10% discount on all of the plants and the compost and the pots that we've got available on the show
I think
today.
I'm going to place a big order today.
Yeah, you're feeling it, Bex.
Honestly,
we feel inspired,
I've got a few days next week. Mind you, I might not get my order by then. But do you know what? I think now's the time. I'm looking at my garden. I'm looking at where the gaps are. These will fill so many of them.
You may well get your order though, you know, because it is a little bit quieter this time of year compared to peak season.
Maybe
I mean, you know, it's like we always. I think you'll agree. Most of the year, our delivery is really fast. You know, sometimes in peak season it may not be as fast as other times, but
I mean, I've had next day.
Same, I was going to say. Sometimes you're lucky and you get it the next day. So, yeah.
Echinacea's going on my list. Lobelia's going on my list. I've already got Rudbeckia and I've already got Verbena, but those 2, they're going in.
Well, I'm definitely getting the Queen Victoria and the Echinacea.
Everyone's telling us in the chat what they're going for. We'll go to the chat in a little while.
But we do need to talk about the best bred pansy that we know. Yeah, this one's been brought up properly. It really has. It's called. When I said well bred, it's like, it really has. This has been really brought up properly, and it's a pansy cool wave, and it's a buy one get one free. And when I say that, Bex and I, we've got some amazing pansies on the show, and we've grown many pansies. But the cool wave is just such a top performer. We actually say with this one that it flowers for 10 months of the year. The only months it doesn't really flower are July and August when it's a little bit hot. Mine actually did keep flowering through July and August, but they're not supposed to. But it's a lovely mass-producing pansy. And when we say mass-producing, the amount of flowers that you get over those 10 months is phenomenal. We're talking potentially hundreds, if not thousands of flowers. And it gently cascades. We don't say it trails. It doesn't fully trail like, say, your petunias, but it does trail and cascade. So it softens the edges of baskets. It creates this lovely ball of colour. And all you need to do is keep taking off the dead flowers, and it will just continue throwing more and more out for 10 months of the year. 10 months, Bex.
I know, it's such a long time you get those flowers for. Of course, they've got a nice sweet scent to them as well. They're not, overpowering at all, but you will get a lovely scent coming up from these wherever you plant them. Great in hanging baskets. A lot of the pictures that we show you are in the hanging baskets, because that is truly what you can create here, that gorgeous ball of colour, particularly if you are planting in our easy fill hanging baskets. We've got a demonstration coming up on those. If you need your hanging baskets, stick around for that.
What time are you going to do that,
I can't remember.
About 10 past 12, was it?
Yeah, sometime just after 12. But you can get that ball of colour. But of course, it's not just for hanging baskets. You can put these into pots as well. And these, again, in those blue pots, these might look absolutely incredible in there. They just cascade and tumble over the edges of the pots that you might want to plant these into. You could even, if you want to, plant these into the ground. Because, they cascade by about maybe 30 centimetres. If you put them in the ground, they'll just create ground cover for you. So front of borders, absolutely brilliant.
And particularly if you've got like raised beds and things as well, they could look even more magnificent. Now, although we say we often class pansies as an annual. A lot of people use them for autumn, winter and spring bedding, but in reality, if you want to keep them going, when it gets to July and August, they will die back and they'll get straggly. By July and August, they'll have had enough. They'll have thought, like, Shaun, Bex, Alwyn, I've flowered for you for 10 months and I need a rest. So all you need to do is chop them back in July and August, chop them right back, put them in a more shady position, and then they'll actually start to bounce back in autumn time. Just start feeding them again and they'll bounce back. But a lot of people just use them as annuals and throw them away, but you could actually keep them going.
Well, buy one, get one free, and
yes,
you definitely can, can't you? Let's have a look in the chat, shall we? You are all very, very chatty this morning in the YouTube chat. You're all talking to each other. So, Olwyn, I know it looks like you're very busy getting all the decorating done.
Yes, Olwyn messaged me. Yes, well done with the decorating.
Busy decorating. Only one room to go before Christmas.
Yes.
All right, fantastic. I am the same, Bex. No daffodils in my garden either, says Elaine. Now's the time, Elaine. Add those in.
Yeah.
What was Neil saying? Oh, just need someone to come and clean out the windows and the frames and the guttering. I'm not going to offer to do that for you, Olwyn. I'm sorry. It's not my kind of job. Neil was saying the Caribbean lilies are fab and look amazing in hanging baskets. So if you are on the fence, maybe take Neil's advice.
And didn't Neil give his 3 choices of bulbs?
So my 3 choices from the bulb, mix and match, are the snake's head, the fritillaria, the white muscari album, and of course more Caribbean lilies.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, Bex read that selection out to me a few minutes ago, and I said, oh, Neil's picked really well there, because that's 3 really unusual ones.
Yeah, they're the unusual varieties.
I'm on the same page today, Neil.
So Olwyn says, I've lots of bulbs to plant out next week when the scaffolding comes down. Oh, wow, you really are on it, aren't you, Olwyn? Elaine's saying she has some plants to replant as well. These are going in my basket. Queen Victoria last year got these. Oh, the slugs had a great time. Yeah, you might want to do some protection for slugs.
What was that on?
She just says, these are going in my basket. Queen Victoria last year got these. The slugs had a great time.
Yeah, good point. Slugs really do like
the new growth.
New growth and Queen Victoria. They do. I've had a few people say that. So just get
some look for some strolch. Yeah, get some strolch. And we've got, by the way, the bark mulch on the show. If you're looking for tender plants and putting those to bed, we've got the bark mulch available. Neil says, talking pampas grass, my tiny pampas grass is finally beginning to flower.
Yay! Mine too, Neil. They do take a couple of years to get going, but it's worth the wait, isn't it? And yeah, I think it's a good. I don't know, but my pampas are looking really good this year, so I'm thinking it potentially is a good year for pampas.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Neil says, I've got the 2 of the Goldsturm. I'm with Bex, they're amazing. Love the late colour. Elaine's saying I have the Goldsturm as well. Beautiful. Oh, my word. Sent pics in of Goldsturm. Thank you, Elaine. We'll get to the pictures. Elaine's ordered the Verbena bonariensis. Going to plant with my moonbeam. Very nice.
That looked great, yes.
So, yeah, loads of stuff going on. Oh, Neil, I've got the 60 Pansy Cool Wave Pro plugs and I'm growing them on before planting out. I did see you'd sent a picture of those, Neil. So thank you very much. Let's go into it.
I think you said you were going to do it in your Propagator, didn't you?
He has as well. He sent us that picture.
Yeah.
Oh, and on Facebook.
Yes, we've had good mornings from Penny, Dingo, hello Dingo, and Roger as
Good morning to you all on Facebook. Let's have a look at some of the pictures, shall we? I'm going to go straight to the one that Andrew sent on Thursday. I don't think we showed it, which is why I'm showing it.
Gives me garden envy.
So what Andrew has said is, I'm not ready to give up on summer yet. Now, the last picture is the stunner, but let's just scroll through, because that is incredible. I love that archway.
Andrew...
Apricot shades, I'm assuming those ones are.
No wonder Andrew's not giving up on summer.
I mean, just check out these pictures.
Wow.
Look at the oleanders he's got going on in there.
I mean, they've done really well, because I'll be honest, I mean, it's not been the best summer, and oleanders like full sun. Oh, my word. Is this more of his garden?
Yep. So the Sunbelievable there. We've got some Echinacea popping up in there.
Yeah.
We've got the...
He's got his Fire Queen geraniums by the looks of things.
Oh, my word. So much going on in your garden, Andrew. Honestly. Gorgeous. That must be the yellow oleander, because it's that lovely kind of paler colour.
They've done really well, haven't they? But the quality...
Yeah, wait for it. Here you go. That's the picture.
Yeah, that's the one that gets me every time.
Look at that garden.
Look at the dahlias as well.
Oh, my word. Yeah, I love those dahlias. I've got those ones.
Well, Andrew...
with the dark foliage.
Can I just ask Andrew, I mean, is Andrew retired?
He must be, surely. To have a garden like that,
yeah,
be able to spend loads of time on it.
It just looks immaculate, doesn't it?
Ooh, I recognise those pots there. Those are a QVC one, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah, I love those pots. Those are gorgeous.
Wow.
Andrew, I love your garden. Love your garden. Very, very nice.
And One thing I will say, out of all the pictures that are coming in right now, begonias, yet again, they have just done so well this year.
Always so good.
Yeah, because it's been a mixed summer. We know it's not been the best. But I'm just saying that the pub, I did most of the pub garden that I look after in begonias, and they still look absolutely fantastic. So I am not giving up on summer either, Andrew. Right, we're going to move on though, because I mentioned earlier...
We've got loads more pictures, guys.
Great.
I will show them in a bit. Dingo, Sharon, Neil, Penny, George, Eleanor, Kate, more from Dingo, more and Elaine and George. We will get to them. We'll show you all of the pictures.
Stay watching, because we are live until 2 o'clock this afternoon. And don't forget, at 12:10, there's a massive, great big demonstration from Bex. I'm just building this up, Bex, with that easy fill hanging basket. It's a demonstration not to be missed. Okay? So that is coming up.
We're going to fill an easy fill hanging basket. We're going to plant one up.
They are the easiest things to do, aren't they?
But
anyway, it's just a bit of fun to see. If you've never had an easy fill basket, you might not know them. But on our previous channel, I think we sold... I think it was like about 1 million of them or something ridiculous. Might have even been more. But anyway, we are going to be doing a live demonstration at 10:12 with our easy-fill baskets. Just really quickly, I know all of you regulars know this. You're probably shouting it out at the TV as I say it. But in fact, shout with me at home. Free P&P on orders over £40. But yes, it is important. And one of the best ways of doing that, because I know a lot of you are buying the amazing perennials that we've just shown you on our favourites table. But there's no point paying £6.99 postage if you can get your order to over £40. And buying some compost today is one of the easiest ways of doing that, of course.
Yeah, and it really is the best compost. It's premium professional compost. And that's not just some fancy title to make it sound better than it is. It's genuinely the compost that we use at the nursery. Any of our pre-planted hanging baskets, any of the potted roses that we do, any of the bare roots that we plant up, anything we grow on, pot on here at the nursery, this is the compost that we use. And it is the best compost. We wouldn't be using an inferior compost in order to put our plants in, and so we don't want you to use an inferior compost either. That's why it's been made available, so that you and me, we can all plant our plants in here.
Well, the first thing that you notice when you open up a bag of our premium professional compost is the texture, because 50% of this is composted wood fibre. But unlike some other compost out there where you open up the bag and the texture is very uneven and you'll find like lumps and bits of twig and sticks and things like that, look at the fibrous nature of this, and it's so evenly composted and blended. It just means that those delicate roots from plug plants and seeds and everything else, they can get right into that compost. They can get all of the oxygen, the nutrients, the right amount of water. They find that so easily. And when a plant is young, or when you've got a seed just germinating, it needs its journey to be as easy as possible, and that composted wood fibre allows that journey to be seamless. Now, you've also got a bit of a backup here when it comes to feeding.
Yeah, it's something I'm rubbish at. I wish I was better at it, honestly.
You're good at feeding the kids, aren't you?
I feed the kids, occasionally. But yeah, it's just tricky, isn't it? I do promise every year I'm going to get better, I'm going to do it regularly, and every year I fail at doing my feeding of the plants, and it's so important to do. But this is your backup. These little green balls that you can see inside the compost, that contains a slow release fertiliser. So this shell sort of breaks down and it releases the fertiliser, the feed, into the compost, which just means your plants are going to be able to get hold of that feed as and when they need to, rather than you having to remember. It'll stay, it'll release it over a period of about 5 to 6 months. After then, you've got to be on it with your feed, but at least you've got that insurance policy initially.
Now, you've also got different types of peat in here. You've got white peat, you've got dark peat, you've got renewable peat, such as the sphagnum moss peat.
We have Burns peat.
Yes, yeah. Again.
Pete Burns. You've got all the peats.
Oh, bless him.
Sorry.
Used to love him.
I know, right?
Such a character, wasn't he?
It's always a joke Shaun says Stu says in our ear whenever we're going through the different peats.
Bless
he starts
him.
Naming famous peats. Sorry.
There's lots of famous peats, isn't there?
I couldn't think of any more.
No.
That was my
Pete Burns, oh bless him. Anyway, the peat is in there. We've reduced the quantity over the years to obviously meet up with environmental needs and issues. But it is fair to say, although all of us in an ideal world would love to be peat-free, sometimes you think actually the peat-free ones haven't quite got there yet. I always try a few peat-frees, but my tomatoes this year, I did half of them in our compost, half in the peat-free. And I'll be honest, the peat-free ones they dried out all the time. That was the trouble.
Yeah.
So you tried some of the tomatoes that were quite fibrous.
They weren't the best, were they?
So yes, we are obviously working towards that, and we have got peat-free versions on our website, but the peat is in there, but just at a reduced quantity. What else we got? The pH buffer.
Yeah, pH buffer. So it puts the pH level of this compost in just the right place for, I'm making up this number, but it's about 98% of your plants. The majority of your plants will live the best life in this compost. There are some exceptions, of course. You know, your acid-loving plants, your blueberries, rhododendrons, azaleas, those sorts of things. They are going to want to be in an ericaceous compost, but everything else is going to live the best life in this compost here because of that pH buffer.
And then also, you just saw there some of the benefits, and these are some of the results. So far better roots, and better roots means more shoots, more flowers, better fruits, fantastic crops. But the final thing you've got in here is a wetting agent. You see there at the bottom it says retains moisture, reducing the need to water more often. And basically the wetting agent means that when you water a pot or hanging baskets that's dried out, the water sticks to the compost pretty much instantly. So you don't end up watering the hanging basket and all the water coming over the side. So it is a brilliant compost. It has fantastic reviews on our website. We sell thousands of bags on a regular basis, and postage is included. And if you're not a club member, join today, because every time you buy our compost, you save an additional £2.50 as a club member. That is a lot to save. I mean, 2 orders of compost and you've got your club membership fee back basically in one go. So yeah, there you go.
Then it's win-win from that point onwards. You're saving money every time you place an order.
Now, much as we love gardening, there are moments where you think, oh, I wish it was just that little bit easier. You know, sometimes you, especially as you get a bit older, or maybe your health changes, you look at your beds and think, oh, God, loads of weeds again, loads more digging again. So sometimes, I know my mum, because my mum's in her 80s, a lot of her friends have tried to, they still do the garden, still love the gardening, but they've tried to make it a little bit more low maintenance. And actually adding ornamental spruce bark to your beds and borders can really make life a lot easier, because it stops you having to do all that weeding.
Yeah, definitely.
All that digging.
It's massive, excuse me, massively beneficial to do your weeding and then put this down, because it will suppress weed growth. Can't guarantee you won't get any weeds coming up, but you'll certainly get a heck of a lot less than you would if you didn't have this down. But of course, it's not just about weed suppressant. It's about putting your plants to bed. It's about giving them that little winter duvet that they might need in order to, you know, help them to survive the winter. So Lobelia, Queen Victoria, it can cope with down to -5 temperatures, but if you know you're going to get more than -5, a little bit of this on the ground will help to keep them nice and warm so that you can ensure their survival for next year. It looks so neat and tidy as well.
I mean, that's the thing, I think, when you've got the mulch down on the beds and borders, I think the plants stand out even more. That little pig stands out even more, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it? And it's great for if you've got deep beds and borders. Like mine aren't that deep. They will be when I extend them. But they're not that deep. I can kind of reach to the other side without having to step into the border. But yours, you've got some big deep borders, haven't you? So being able to walk in between the plants without getting mud stuck to the bottom of your shoes, this makes it nice and easy to do that.
I am thinking there's a whole corner of my garden that's got a big tree in it. I am thinking of just putting the bark mulch all the way around the tree and just making life that little bit easier.
I think it's a great idea. And of course, if you put pots on top of it, it's going to really make them stand out.
But I was thinking, you know, there's no reason why you couldn't use if you've got plants in pots, to use that as a decorative mulch around the you know, I've got things like, I've got holly in pots.
Yeah, totally.
And, you know, like standard holly.
I've got the standard hollies and all sorts, and I haven't put anything on the top of those pots. And of course, you still get those little weeds poking up. This will help to obviously make it look pretty, but stop weeds from growing in those pots as well.
And it is on a really special price day. You get a massive 70-litre bag for just £14.99, so it's actually half price today. Right, we've got the most amazing pots for you right now. We've fallen in love with these.
I love them.
They're just, you know, sometimes I mean, the moment we both saw these, we went, oh, they're nice.
I absolutely adore them. You know, we've got loads and loads of pots available at YouGarden, and these, I think, are some of the most stand out and beautiful ones. That colour, that azure blue, is just so pretty. It looks like glazed ceramic, doesn't it? You can see that lovely sheen and shine you've got on there. It's got a lovely sort of mottling in it. That darker rim around the top. I just think this is one of the most beautiful ones that we've got. And of course, we've got a great price for you. You can get one of these for $19.99, but if you put 2 in your basket and use the code YGTV3724, you'll get the second one for a £5, which is incredible, isn't it? I would happily pay, so they work out £12.50 each. I would happily be paying $24.99 for one of these, but you'll get 2 of them.
To be fair, if you saw one of these in a garden centre and it was $29.99, I do not think
wouldn't question it. No.
Because they're a really big size, 15 inches. And I just love the fact that they are lightweight. Although they look really heavy and solid, they're super lightweight, so that means they're easy to move around. It means that they are virtually indestructible. It would be really hard to bake with these.
It would be really hard, and look, that's important. So, as you say, lightweight, because they're made of plastic, UV stabilised, frost-resistant plastic. So, none of that sort of brittle cracking that you get with cheaper plastic that doesn't have that benefit to it. But of course, it does mean that they are harder to break. I would not do that with a ceramic pot.
No.
You'd be worried. You wouldn't do it, would you? No. But of course, I can do it with this.
And the thing is with pots, what I like to do is move them around. So when something's looking really good, you put it in the prime position so you can see it. When things go over, things like your spring bulbs maybe, I like to just put them to the side and let them down naturally. So pots are very good in terms of position them wherever you want them, whenever they're looking good, but moving them to one side when they're not. When they're lightweight, it just makes it a lot easier to pick the pot up and to put it somewhere else.
Yeah.
You've already got drainage holes in there. You've got a big drainage hole in the centre. And I reckon that should be enough for most plants. But
you were echoey when you
did. I go really echoey?
Really
indeed.
echoey.
Yes. But you could, if you wanted to, add some more, or you could put some grivel.
Grivel. Put some grivel in it.
Put some grivel in there. I think I was thinking of grit and gravy at the same time. I was thinking, oh, Sunday lunch when I get home.
I'm going to add some extra holes into mine. If you want to just leave it with the one hole, as you say, loads of gravel in the bottom, that helps the drainage. But if you do want to add extra holes, of course, it's so much easier to add extra holes into the bottom of a plastic pot than it is in a ceramic. Put your drill. It's super easy. You're not going to crack and break it.
But actually, to be fair, if you look at the design on this, this isn't flat, you've not got a flat base, so any extra water should be able to drain away through these channels as well. But if you want to put some grivel in there, you can. That sounds like Yorkshire, doesn't it? Grivel.
It does, yeah. Sounds like a word.
Yeah. Are you having a Sunday roast today, Bex?
Do you know I am?
Are you? Yeah, I feel like
I've got a chicken. Roast. It's ready. It's going to go in the air fryer. Have you done a chicken in an air fryer before? A whole roast chicken.
Not a whole one, no.
Yeah. Yeah. It works.
Honestly, really?
It's a revelation.
Might try it. We are having roast chicken tonight as well.
Half the time.
Anyway, good morning and welcome to YouGarden TV with myself, Shaun Ryan, full of grivel today, and and the lovely Bex Edwards. Martin's doing all the technical. He's doing a great job today.
He is. He's on it.
Yeah, he's pressing all the right buttons at the right time. What more could we ask? But if you want the ceramic look, large mottled blue planters there. Remember, it's a double up deal, one for $19.99, but for an extra £5, you can get 2 for £24.99. But as very keen gardeners, we are always trying to, I think, get the best value, because gardening's a great hobby, but we're all on a budget, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
And there are times you think, oh, I'd love to afford that, but it's a little bit out of my price range. To get cottage garden perennials as plug plants right now at this time of year is a brilliant way of getting lovely perennials but on a budget. But actually we are doing a buy one pack and get one pack absolutely free today, so it works out you're going to get 24 plants for $12.99. That's about 50p a plant.
They're about that. Yeah, absolutely. So they come in our miniature greenhouses. They are labelled as well, so you know which plant is which. Some of them you can tell from the foliage, but you know, we can't always tell, can we? So that label marries up to the letters on the pods here that you can see. So so you will know which is in which pod on there. If you put one in your basket and enter the code YGTV3724, we will put that other pack into your basket for you. Now, we can't guarantee exactly which varieties you are going to get. It is a bit of a lucky dip.
Yes.
However, the picture that we've got here, the varieties that we're showing you, are very indicative of what you could potentially be receiving. So we've got down here, we've got Achillea down the bottom there. We've got, darn it, forgotten the name of that one, Campanula on that one there. We've got the Aquilegia, Verbena bonariensis. We've got Galladia. We've got Geums, Hollyhock. This is the Chaeters, which is the lovely doubles.
That's gorgeous.
We've got Rudbeckia in there as well. We've got Coreopsis, Lady's Mantle called Alchemilla in there. We've also got Delphiniums, and we've also got the Dalmatian digitalis, the foxgloves.
Oh, so all of those are tried and tested. They're all perennials that will come back every single year, and many of them will spread or self-seed, but what an amazing selection. I'd say there may be a few different ones in there, something like the Sissy Stew that we're looking at right now. So yes, there may be a few variants on what you've just seen, but all of them will be tried and tested. Gorgeous cottage garden perennials. The hollyhocks, we said you've got the Chaeters mix, but you may get some single varieties. This is a gorgeous, really deep kind of variety. You may get, say, things like Campanula in there. You may get different types of salvia that we're looking at right now, but it will be 24 cottage garden perennials, all at £12.99. And all you need to, what I would do, I would grow them on a little bit. So they're going to have as plug plants, give them a really good drink, and then I would actually put them into pots and grow them on throughout the winter. Some of them will die down because some of them will be herbaceous, but I'd put them in pots, get them off to a really good start, and then they should be ready to plant out in your gardens in springtime next year. But it is just a great way of getting great perennials at a fraction of the price. And I'm just looking at the Aquilegia there. I mean, that, say, already is really well established, but just say, put it in a pot, use our premium compost, and then you're going to have 24 perennials to put out in your garden next year.
Yeah, we could pull any one of these out and just look at the root systems that we've got on here. I think that's the geum that we've got there. Look, root systems are absolutely incredible. So they're just raring to get planted into your garden.
And there's the Verbena bonariensis as well. It's just an amazing selection, but it is a buy one, get one free.
I've got to put them back in the right pod.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Can't mix them up.
Yeah.
We can't put them back into stock.
Yes, I've done that before. Right, it's September, mid-September. Time to start thinking about making up your winter hanging baskets. Now, the great thing is, if you've already got, I've already got lots of hanging baskets, but if you buy another set, what you can do, like Andrew, still enjoy the summer ones. Those begonias still looking fabulous, but you could get a head start on your winter ones right now. Because I've learnt, if I leave it too late, it is too late.
It's a really good point you make there, because last year I ended up destroying some of my pots and things that were still looking amazing, because I knew I had to get these others planted out to give them time to get established. So it was a bit frustrating, because I knew I had another, 3-4 weeks out of some of them, but I knew I had to get the other things in. So having multiples does mean that you can get the best of the summer stuff.
And I know it maybe sounds a little bit extravagant, but when you think about how long these are going to last and how many times you'll use them. So what I would do is I'd get them planted up now for winter, keep your summer ones going as long as possible, and then just swap them over. And with winter bedding, sometimes I've waited till November to plant up my baskets, and the trouble is it's sometimes too cold and too dark for them to really, really thrive. They stay alive, but they don't really sometimes get going then until the spring. If you plant them up now, they've got a head start, so they'll already be really well established when you maybe hang them up in October time. And lovely metal chains on these. Yeah,
really nice. So they're anti-twist. They will, in the wind they'll go like that, but they will just sort of right themselves as well. You've got the lovely natural thing going on with the rattan here as well. Of course, if you've got your trailing things, obviously it will cover this up, but when you're first waiting for it to grow on, you've still got that lovely natural look there. And this one isn't this, it's a quad pack, so you will get 4 of these. I've got 2 here in the potting shed, but you will get 4. It's a quad pack, so you'll get 4 of the 14-inch diameter ones for £22.99 or £20.69 if you're in the club.
I was going to say, for club members, it works out under
over
£5.20 each.
Yeah.
Which is actually really good for a genuine rattan basket that's 14 inches as well. And we sell all types of baskets. We do have obviously the plastic ones, the man-made ones, but rattan can look can just look really nice and earthy and natural.
Yeah. Yeah, I love them. I think that's a really good price. I'm not sure you buy rattan baskets for £5.20.
I think it's a really good price.
That's
And you get your free gift. Where's our free gift, Bex?
Oh, it's on the table.
There you go. So don't forget, as long as you use the offer code today, YGTV3724, you will get your free gift. And this is the UK's best-selling gardening bag. You'll get the latest edition. So if you're watching, going, oh, hang on, I've got that one, Shaun. I've read it. It was great, but I don't want to read it again. We're going to give you the next issue with your order today. And then next week, we've got the third issue, haven't we?
Yeah, so we're doing it for 4 weeks running,
Yeah.
4 different magazines. So if you place an order every week over the next, last week and the next 3 weeks, then you'll get a different magazine each week. And there's loads of stuff to read.
There is.
It's good, you know, get extra tips, help. I like looking at the pictures. It gives me... I don't read. No, I do read. But just flicking through, looking at the pictures, I love that inspiration. This is why I love it when you send us your pictures, because it gives me inspiration of what I can do in my garden. Anyway, it's a freebie.
Oh, right, sorry, yes, sorry. It's really good.
We'll start doing the crossword again later.
Yeah, that was fun. So thank you to everyone that's watching today, by the way. The offer code for this week is YGTV3724. But let's remind you, Bex, you've still got some more plants to show us,
More plants to show. I'm going to change the tables. We've got the demonstration coming up on the easy fill hanging baskets in about an hour.
Yes.
So if you haven't got your easy fills yet, stick around so you can see how easy they are.
It is going to be one of the biggest demonstrations you've ever seen. I'm picking this up, Bex.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be brilliant.
I'm joking, because the easy fill baskets are called easy because they're so easy. But if you might never use them, and now if you've never seen, I'll just quickly show you. Where are they, Bex?
Here.
Oh, there they are. This is what they look like.
I know, and it looks weird. And you're looking at it going, hang on a minute, all the plants and all the compost, they're going to fall out of those big holes. Don't worry.
But we honestly, on our previous shopping channel, we sold about 1 million of these, and they really are quite a revelation when it comes to hanging baskets.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a demonstration around about 12:10, so do stay tuned for that. Let's remind you there's some of the great plants and some of the amazing deals and offers we've had on YGTV today. So we have got, don't forget, a brilliant offer on our spring flowering bulbs. So we're doing a mix and match, and you can go for any 3 of the 7, and you basically only pay for 2. So you get 3 for the price of 2. And these are the Daffodil Narcissus, the mixed collection, full-size daffodils, but so many wonderful varieties. So the trumpets come in lots of different colours. Some of them are doubles, some of them are really fancy and frilly. You've got yellows, oranges, creams, whites, just a brilliant selection. Really good sized bulbs as well. So they're really strong. All of them are really firm, and that is important with bulbs. You never want to buy any squishy bulbs, because basically they'll just rot the moment you put them in the ground. So very high quality, and you're going to get 25 of those. And for anyone that hasn't got daffodils in their garden, for me, it's a classic springtime flower. It's beautiful. I think daffodils only come out when spring is probably here, don't they? They're kind of like, right, folks, it's March, Mother's Day, spring's here, and let's celebrate. 600-180. And often the daffodils are out at Easter time. The only trouble is Easter moves around a little bit, doesn't it? But generally speaking, we have daffodils at Easter. So yes, an absolute must today, 600-180. Then we had some absolutely gorgeous Dutch iris. Now, it's a mixed collection, so lots of different colours, again, yellows, blues, purples, whites. But a lot of the flowers, when you analyse them and look up closely, they've got 2 or 3 colours in the one flower. I love the kind of indigo colour with the yellow, don't you? It looks amazing there, and then the yellow with the white. Oh. And these really look good en masse in clumps. That's why we're going to give you 100 bulbs today at just £9.99 or £8.99 if you are a discount club member, one of our 45,000. Now, on Neil's list today, I know Neil's one of our wonderful regulars, has been with us really since the start. He's put the fritillaria, often known as the snake's head. These are extraordinary. Now, they look as if they're going to be really difficult to grow, but they're not. They're super easy. They can even be grown in a fairly shady spot, but what makes them absolutely spectacular are those exquisite markings on the petals of those nodding flowers. And they really are close up, they are just the most wonderful looking petals that you can ever imagine. 601.33 for the fritillaria snake's head there, just £9.99. Club discount price is £8.99. Now, also proving really popular today, the Caribbean lily. Wow, this is the Scilla peruviana, but the popular name is Caribbean lily. And it looks like it's straight from the Caribbean, doesn't it? It's exotic, it's elaborate, it's wonderful. And these actually grow to about up to 30 centimetres. They're a big bulb, so they do produce a big flower and lots of lovely foliage to go with it. A nice bright spot would be ideal. And one of the little tips that Bex gave you, don't plant them too deep. In their native countries, they're actually just below the ground surface. But look at the extraordinary flowers that they produce. And they do remind us a little bit of a hyacinth or an allium, but they're just a lot more exotic, aren't they? They are wonderful. And so I've just ordered mine, missed out on them last year, and was extremely envious of everyone that had grown those. 630045 for the Scilla peruviana, their Caribbean lily. And then another one on Neil's list today, and also on my list, the muscari album. Now this muscari is a white version. We often see these are known as grape hyacinths, and they're seen en masse in purple, but there's a white one, and here it is. And I just think white in the garden always looks beautiful, doesn't it? It lifts all the other colours, it brings a freshness to the garden. Now this is a bulb that can really, again, tolerate quite shady positions. So think of woodlands, think about it under trees, but equally it can look great in containers and amongst other bulbs in your beds and borders. And muscari are very good at spreading and naturalising. So they produce little offsets, little miniature bulbs that in time will produce flowers of their own. 600-115 for the muscari album. And then we have got the Gladiolus byzantinus. I get my teeth in. Gladiolus byzantinus, there we go, at $9.99. And they're kind of like mid-sized gladioli, so they're not going to be super tall, about 60 centimetres. Gorgeous cerise flowers on them, some really pretty flowers, and again these look absolutely fantastic en masse. 600-241 for the Gladiolus byzantinus. Can I just say, I've just had a front tooth mended, and that's probably it's true, Bex. You didn't notice. I have. I can feel the difference. 600-241. Right, what else did we have? Then we brought you, our favourite table, our Rudbeckia. So we have got, and that's why so many of you have been ordering these, we've got the most outstanding deals on our hardy perennials. It's a great time to plant them. The ground's warm, but it's easily, workable. There's still a lot of sunlight around, so it's a really good time to put your perennials in now and get them established for next year. This is the Rudbeckia Goldsturm, a fantastic perennial that just flowers en masse, loves the sunny position, the pollinators adore it, and you're going to get 3 9-centimetre pots, 560076. Now, from the Rudbeckia Goldsturm to the Echinacea Papallo orange. It's a gorgeous Echinacea, this one. Absolutely beautiful. And again, you've got that big cone in the centre that's a landing pad for bees. And as the flower matures, more and more pollen is released, and then you've got these absolutely stunning orange petals. It's just a beauty, this one. And the price, I mean, not being funny, they're supposed to be £10 each. You get 3 today for £10.99, 560895. Now, my favourite perennial right now is my Verbena bonariensis. In fact, I've actually started to spread this all the way around the garden because I adore it. It's a really wonderful plant in terms of it's tall, it's lean, you've got masses of tiny flowers in almost like little pom-poms or lollipops. The wonderful thing is, even though the stems are really tall and slender, they're really strong, so it never needs supporting. I leave the flowers on over winter, so they will go over, but they still look really attractive and they're a great kind of haven for the insects and things like that. But if you leave the dead flowers on, you may well get some new flowers next year because it will self-seed, or mine certainly have. But it is a hardy perennial. It will die down in the winter and come back bigger and stronger every single year. It loves a sunny spot though, 56910 for the Verbena bonariensis. Then we have got one of the, I would say, one of the best bred pansies ever. The breeding, I think it took about 7 years to get the cool wave pansy to where it is now. So we never used to have trailing pansies, did we? They were always just clump forming, but this is a semi-trailing version, so it gently cascades and just tumbles over the edges of baskets and containers. It is a prolific flower. Do you know, we hardly ever say, oh, this is a plant that flowers for 10 months of the year, but this does. 10 months of the year. You imagine that, so September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. Then it stops, it has a rest in July and August. Now at that point you may just throw it away, or if you want to, chop it right back, be quite harsh, chop it right back, putting it in a shady corner, out of direct sunlight, and it will bounce back in autumn if you give it a good feed. But it's just such a hard worker, and you get thousands of flowers potentially over its lifetime. 40967, it's a buy one get one free today. But we're going to come back with some brilliant pro plugs. And when we say pro plugs, oh, and we've got garden ready actually as well. Should we do the garden ready to start with, Bex?
Let's do garden ready first.
We'll do garden ready. We'll start with those that need no work whatsoever, and then sorry, Bex.
That's all right, shut me over.
I've slimmed off a bit as well, you know. I don't need that much room, but a little bit. We've got the Pansy Cool Wave on the screen, and that is, remember, 10 garden-ready plants. But we've also got some garden-ready Polyanthus, the spring fever.
Yeah.
And when we say garden-ready, you need to do nothing. You need to put them in the garden now. That's it.
Yeah, so these are the larger plants that have been grown on, so they are ready for you to plant in your garden. Of course, these are totally winter hardy perennial plants for you. You get this lovely kind of compact growth here. So, I mean, the foliage on it is incredible, first of all. Real sort of dense sort of cabbage leaf foliage on there, real interest there. But the point of that is that it really makes the rosettes of flowers really stand out. And you've got a beautiful mix in here. They're the lovely yellows and the creamy whites going on. They are probably the latest and the best Polyanthus around for you to be able to buy. Prolific flowering displays you get with these every single year. And of course they form clumps that you can divide.
Yeah, they really do. So, you know, they die down a little bit in summer. They're like me, they don't like full sunshine, but they still, you know, obviously survive through the summers. But what I tend to do in sort of like late spring or early autumn is dig the big clump up, divide it, and you've got lots of free plants. Yeah. And all you need to do is dead head. So when the flowers go over, just take the dead flowers off, and it'll keep flowering and flowering. And just make sure these do not like being waterlogged, particularly in the crown. So don't let them get too wet, too waterlogged, because then there's a chance that the centre could rot. But as long as you put them in a well-drained pot or beds and borders, they should be absolutely fine. And they are totally winter hardy.
Totally winter hardy, and lighting up those borders right the way through from, I mean, you can see them starting to flower now.
Yeah, they're just beginning to.
But once you get them in the ground, these are really going to get going from sort of, you know, mid to end of October, but right the way through winter, all the way through into springtime next year, sort of April and May time.
And to buy them in trays like we've got right now is such better value, because what a lot of the garden centres will do is they'll sell these in 9cm individual pots, and they charge so much more for that.
Yeah, but if you took one of those out, I'm going to grab a pot.
Yeah, go on,
do it. If you take one of those out and put it into a 9cm pot, yeah, you've pretty much got the size of a 9cm plant just from one plug plant here.
But all we're doing is making it so much more kind of cost effective and easier to deliver. But you're right, yeah.
That's it in a 9cm pot. Yeah, and a garden centre would easily be able to charge you a heck of a lot more than this breaks down to per plant, just by putting it into a 9cm pot.
My local garden centre, and I mean, it's very nice, I've got to say, but they would probably charge $2.50 or $2.99 for an individual plant like that. So they are garden ready. They're really big plants, but they just arrive in the trays ready for you to plant out. And what we always say, when any of our plug plants arrive, just give them a good water. They will have been in transit for a day or two, so give them a good water and plant them as soon as you possibly can. All of the packaging, by the way, is 100% recyclable as well, so do bear that in mind. Now, from the Polyanthus to the primula.
Get both of these. Get both of these, because they work really nicely together, and you've got a gorgeous colour mix with the primulate. But these are known as the rosebud ones, aren't they? Because the flowers that you get on here are like mini rosebuds.
Yeah, they're double. So they're a lot more, I would say, attractive and more interesting than your regular primulas out there.
Yeah.
A lot of them are just singles and you see them everywhere. But no, when you look at these close up, they're rather fabulous, aren't they?
They are. And
they
the
really
colour
are.
mix, I mean, they are like jewels, aren't they?
Yeah.
You've got those lovely purples, the reds, the whites, the yellows. I love that one on the edge there as well that's got the nice apricot shades in there. So you will get a mixture of colours. They're vibrant, they're incredibly hardy, and these are going to flower right the way through those winter months. So they'll really, get them in the ground now. That's the important thing. We keep saying this. Get them in the ground so they can get established while the ground is still in that, lovely sort of warmish state. But these will start flowering probably in around maybe end of November, early December time. And again, they're going to light up those borders, light up those pots for you right the way through winter and into springtime.
And if you are buying both the Polyanthus and the primulas, what I'd do, I'd put the Polyanthus in the centre of your pots because you've got a bit more height with those.
Yes.
And then maybe these just around the edge, so that you've got a lovely splash of colour around the edge, but you've got that bit of height in the centre as well. But again, fully winter hardy. They should be with you many, many years.
Yeah, definitely. And do you know what? It is a bit of an all-rounder because you can put these into borders, you can put these into pots, you can put them into window boxes. That'd be nice. You could even probably grow these on a windowsill indoors too if you wanted to. Yeah,
you could. And at Christmas time, you could have some nice little displays. And what I would say as well is just keep taking off the dead flowers and they just keep going and going. And don't forget to feed your winter bedding. I mean, you don't have to feed it every week like your summer bedding, but don't forget to feed. I mean, we probably will forget to feed, but don't you forget to feed, will you?
We give you the right advice. We might not always follow it, but we will always try and give you the right advice.
I looked at all my fuchsias at the pub recently and I thought, hang on, they've stopped flowering most of them, but yeah, they've not been fed for a few weeks. And they're like, yeah, you've got to feed me, so I'll show you. I started off really well with my hanging baskets and they were looking great because I was on it, and then I just stopped being on it and now they're looking a bit tired. It's difficult. When you're juggling work and family, yeah, it's hard. It's hard, isn't it? But make sure
roll on retirement, that's what I say.
Well, I don't know. I think I'd be bored. Yeah, I probably would as well. It sounds amazing, but... Some of my friends that retired early have said it's great, but some have, they've become really old because they're not doing anything. They're like... they have. It's like, they find it difficult, to even going down the shops, that fills the day up kind of thing. But it's amazing how you can fill your day. Yeah. I have discovered this, not that I'm retired, but just having days off during the week and the kids are at school. All of a sudden, the day is gone and I'm picking the kids up from school. I'm like, what happened to that 7 hours? What happened? They always say if you've got a job needs doing, give it to a busy person, don't they? Yeah, there's a bit of truth in that. I know I was unemployed for about 3 months when I was in my early 20s, and I remember thinking, oh wow, it's a busy day today. I've got to go to the gym and do the shopping. But when you're busy, you just fit it all in, don't you? But anyway, we always try and make time for our gardens because that's the most important thing. Got to move on to an absolute joint favourite of ours. Yeah, I love this one. The Irriga and the Sea of Blossom. This is such a hard worker. Really hard worker. So this is going to flower for you for ages. It's a perennial. It'll come back for you every year. And it starts in around, it's early, isn't it? It starts about April. Yeah, April, May. April, May time. The flowers start poking up out of this. You've got the lovely white daisy flowers is how they appear. But then, as per the picture there, this is not two sets of plants. Those flowers will fade, not fade, they will change colour. They'll go to a lighter pink and then to that darker pink that you can see there. So you've got this lovely kind of waves of colours that go across this plant. So about April, May time, they start flowering and they do not stop. Okay. Mine are still looking amazing right now and they will do right up until those first frosts into October. And I've actually done a whole area of my garden here. So basically, to cut long story short, my house was a new build 4 years ago. It was an absolute nightmare.
You don't recommend it, do you?
I don't. We knocked a house down and rebuilt, and actually the builder did a fantastic job, but we did it through COVID, so it was a nightmare. Yeah. If you ever seen like those grand design programs when it all goes really wrong,
that was it.
That was it. And we're like, oh, we get it now. Why everyone ends up like pulling their hair out
and going like £100,000 over budget.
Yeah, and all that. But the garden was left a building site, and I've worked really hard to kind of get it to where it is today. But there was one little area that was still like rubble, and I shoved a few sort of like stones in there, but the ground's terrible. It's just full of rocks and grit, and it's really awful. But this is a plant that sort of thrives in the poorest conditions. You can even see it growing out of steps and walls. So I've planted this area that I didn't really know what to do with, but I just wanted to, it was just full of weeds, with the irrigaran, and it's looking pretty good. Have a look at this. Well, this is where our But it was just a simple fix. If you've got really poor soil, gravelly areas, it's superb, really is. And you need to do nothing with that one.
Absolutely nothing. Where I've got mine is, and it is a happy mistake, you'll know if you've been watching over the last few weeks, I planted my irrigaran next to my geranium roseanne, and over the last sort of 18 months, as they've matured and established, they've just kind of started to mingle and spread into each other, and it is a perfect combination, one that I'm going to replicate throughout the rest of my garden as well.
And if you wondered what the climbing plant was at the front, it's the Thunbergia.
Thunbergia, that was it. Black-eyed Susan.
Yes.
Well done.
That was there. That's there.
I was like, what's that? I recognise that. Black-eyed Susan. We're both here going, what's the real name? What's the real name?
I could only. I was brought up knowing all the popular names, so yeah, but it is the Thunbergia. Okay, back to it now in a flash.
Well, irrigaran is available on a 3 for 2 offer here. So 10 garden ready plants, but if you put 3 in your basket and enter the code YGTV3724, you can get 30 of them. 10 of them will be absolutely free.
But if you want that low maintenance, easy area, they thrive on needlets.
Yes.
So that's what I've done. I think it looks great. Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to move on to the red hot poker. I don't know why I was giggling when I said this, red hot poker. That's again the popular name for this. But these are miniature ones.
Yeah, these are a little bit smaller, and this is again about that late season colour, because they will start in sort of mid to late summertime, sort of June, July. These will start coming up, but these are looking fantastic right now, aren't they? You'll see clumps of these, and the taller ones are fantastic, but smaller ones work a bit better for certain locations.
Yeah, I had the full-size ones in my last garden, and I'll be honest, they just got, the leaves got quite...
A bit straggly.
They're quite big. These are really neat and compact, but I think they've got a real kind of tropical vibe to them. I'm just imagining in my head I've got like a little Mediterranean area, and I'm thinking of these in pots with all my palms and things like that, and gorgeous colours, papaya, orange, mango, but they'll never grow too big.
No, they're only going to get to about maybe 50 centimetres height, 40 centimetres spread. So, and then they're very drought tolerant. Look at that one. I think that's incredible. I love the hot, fiery colours, and I love them because in garden design, they are the focal point, and that they really do draw your attention. Just beautiful foliage, remains quite neat and tidy, unlike other varieties of Kniphofia out there, which can get a bit straggly. This does stay nice and neat and tidy. As I said, massively drought tolerant, fully hardy, so you don't need to worry about extra winter protection here. And I think they do work in a bunch of planting schemes. So yeah, tropical areas, but gravel gardens would look great.
Yeah, they would.
City city gardens, coastal gardens, cottage gardens, you can actually get these to fit into, you know, a majority of schemes that you've got.
Yeah, I totally agree. And you are getting all three of those, of the Nephofia, or the Red Hot Poker is a popular name, $14.99.
That's my favourite one, that one there. That is my favourite out of all three of them.
Yeah.
I love them, but that one I just put that one really.
I'm very tempted with these.
Yeah, I haven't got them, so yeah.
No, I haven't either.
I'm going to place a big order today.
Yes.
I'm going to spend some money.
And if you want to place an order with us right now, don't forget, you can go straight on the website, YouGarden.com, you can give us a call. Or, of course, if you want to chat to us as well, you can come through live to the studio on our group chat. Or you can email us. And you can't come into the studio. The nursery people often say, oh, can we come and visit? We'll try and do it at some point, some sort of open day, but it is a working nursery. Our potting shed here is in the middle of an 11-acre working nursery. It's a fabulous place to be. But the plants we walked around, Bex and I walked around this morning, everything looked beautiful, didn't it?
It's all looking really good. Yeah, we went into the little greenhouse where we keep all the garden readies and the pro plugs that we're going to talk to you about in a little while. It's on a glorious sunny day like today, it's really nice, isn't it?
Isn't gardening wonderful, isn't it? And I know all of you watching right now, you love your gardening, and we're always learning, aren't we? There's always new varieties. What I like is every year's different. You always have some winners, some losers. You always discover new varieties. Sometimes you think, oh, I'm going to move that plant because I'm not as keen on as it used to be. I'm a bit sick of my buddleia, to be honest, Bex.
I think you should get rid of it.
Oh, I can't.
I know you struggle
so
to get
good for the butterflies.
I'm a bit more vicious when it comes to it. If I don't like it, it's going.
I can't throw a plant away.
Get rid of it.
But I might move it somewhere else.
I just wanted to show you the roots on these, by the way.
Looks that might be it.
Because these are really healthy plants, okay? These are desperate to get planted. I'm not even going to attempt to take that out of the pot because you can see how much of those roots are growing out the bottom of that pot there. So you might need to trim some of that away or trim the pot away, cut down the side of the pot. But I just wanted to show you how healthy those roots are and how desperate this is to get bought and put in somebody's garden.
Oh, so get those today. You have got them at half price, basically, $561,217. And then finally, just while we're over this side of our potting shed, we have got the Lavatera Marshmallow collection. You get 3 of these in 9cm pots. Now, I know you don't have these.
I don't, but I think it's one of those that people should have in their gardens because these are great, aren't they? They grow so quite vigorously in one season. These can get up to, you know, our height, 1.5 meters in height. But what you do is you sort of trim them down in the spring or the autumn, and they will grow that full amount in that one season, which is brilliant.
That's
isn't
what
it?
I mean. I've got them in my new garden, and within a couple of years, I mean the size that these have got to is fantastic. And I like the way they grow because they're kind of quite freestyle. They're not a formal looking plant. They kind of twist and weave. They flower kind of mid to late summer. They always flower on new growth, so don't worry about it. As Beck said, if it gets too big or it gets a little bit misshapen, yes, chop it fairly hard back in springtime and it will bounce back and grow and flower that very, very same year. And these 3 varieties, I mean, they're called marshmallow because they are the colours of marshmallows. I love marshmallows. But you've got lovely pinks and whites there. They do love a sunny spot and well-drained sod, but they're very, very easy. And I have to say, I would say pretty disease resistant as well. I've never had any problems with mine. Yeah,
and very drought tolerant too. This isn't one you need to be constantly watering. The nectar-rich flowers that you've got on here are brilliant at inviting the pollinators into your garden. They actually have some quite nice long stems on them too, so you could actually cut these flowers as part of your indoor cut flower displays. It is a perennial, so it'll come back for you. It's not probably one of the longest-lived perennials, but you don't need to worry about that because they self-seed quite happily. So you don't need to worry about, you might get a 5-year lifespan out of them basically, but you don't need to worry, I need to buy more because they should self-seed.
Yeah, I think I've got a few babies that you could have potentially.
Oh, there you go.
I think I have one. I think, I have. Yeah.
Dig those babies up.
I forgot about that. I've definitely got a few little babies around that. But it's a lovely collection there. And you get all 3, remember, 3 of those at £10.99. And do you know, you could buy a bigger Lavatera. You could buy one in a 2-litre pot or 3-litre. But
I don't think you need to with this, do you? Because they grow so quickly in one season.
I think when you're buying plants, if it's a slow grower, sometimes it is worth buying a large plant. But when they're quick and vigorous, no, why would you?
Yeah.
Before you know it, that will be of full-size Lavatera in your garden looking absolutely beautiful. 511-527 for the Marshmallow collection. Now, what we sell a variety of plug plants at YouGarden, different sizes. You just saw the garden ready, and they're exactly that, garden ready. Take them out of the box, put them in the ground. But you can also grow some of the plug plants on. And coming up, we have got the Pro Plugs, but we've also got a brilliant windowsill propagator kit. Neil, I know you've got this one.
Yeah, so Neil sent us a picture because he bought the Pansy Pro Plugs and he's been growing these on, and this is the kit that he's used in order to do that. So you're going to get 3 of these trays. You get all of the pods you need to go into the trays.
And these trays, by the way, the stock is in this gorgeous green at the moment, but there are no holes in the bottom of there, so that can go on your windowsill without it leaking, without it ruining your gloss work and things like that.
And then the little pods you've got have got the holes in, so of course you've got that drainage in there. So you get enough of these to fill the 3 trays that you get.
And actually, just before you put that last one in, Bex, just hold there for a second. Can you see there's that sort of like groove design at the bottom? So that leaves a little bit of drainage. So if when you water these, if any excess water is still running around, it will be stored in the bottom there.
Perfect. So yeah, you've got all of those. You've got the lids for them as well if you need them. You don't always need the lids depending on what you're growing, but the lids are available for you. And as Shaun said, perfect size to be able to fit onto a windowsill. You can, of course, grow these, use these in your greenhouse or your conservatory if you've got a conservatory like me as your greenhouse. But they have been designed so that you can put them on your windowsills if you don't have that outside space.
And if you do, if you add all those up, I know it says on the screen, but you can actually grow up to 90 plants in one go. And I mean, I'm very lucky. I've got a big greenhouse now, but for many years I didn't. I lived in flats and small houses, had small gardens, things like that. So this is a really great propagator kit for those of you that maybe, say, literally just have a few windowsills to grow your plants on. But the value today, when you look at this, £8.99. You could have this for 10 years or more, couldn't you?
Absolutely. I used it for the first time last year because I grew some of the... I did the Pro Plugs,
yes,
so I had the Pansy Cascadia. And I put my Pro Plugs in these, grew them on the windowsill for about 3 or 4 weeks, and then I planted them outside. Of course, it's not just for Pro Plugs. If you're doing, seed sowing and things like that, there's a variety of things that you can use these for. And
the joy that you get, I mean, don't get me wrong, sometimes it's great to buy garden ready and to have them arrive and then within half an hour you've got an amazing looking display. But sometimes there's a lot of pleasure growing things on, isn't there?
Absolutely,
it really is. And seeing that journey.
And when you're not using it, it all just sits inside each other like this, so it's easy for you to store away and then bring out next year. So
we have now got the Pro Plugs, and these are the plug plants that you will need to grow on in something like the Propagator. And we're going to start with the Bellis Bell 60 Pro Plugs. I will let you a secret, we've only got 40 here. You will get another 20. It's a long story, but you'll get 60. But these are the gorgeous Bellis Bell, and these are one of the best winter flowering plants.
Yeah, they're gorgeous.
Really are.
They're your mum's favourite, you said,
they are.
aren't they?
Mum loves them, well remembered. She adores Bellis.
Yeah, lovely little pom-pom flowers that you get from these in that mixture of colours that you can see there. They do flower beautifully. Once you get, you can see even on these tiny little plants here, these have got flowers on there, and these are going to flower through the winter for you. October, November, December, January, February, and into March as well. They complement pansies really nicely too if you're thinking about your planting schemes. But it is, again, it's all about that winter bedding. It's about getting that colour where we need it most. But with Pro Plugs, it's very much about value for money. Because if these were garden readies, if we were doing 60 garden readies for you, you'd be paying a lot more money for them.
And actually at this time of year, because it's still warm and there's still a lot of daylight, the clocks haven't changed yet, about 6 weeks. So... oh no. Oh, I hate that. The only good thing about the clocks changing is you get that extra hour in bed, do you remember?
Yeah.
So for us working on a Sunday morning,
so early.
That's the only benefit.
But do you know, I was reading about the clocks changing. Apparently it was something to do with some parliamentician wanting to play golf.
Really?
Because we always blamed it on the farmers. It's got nothing to do with them. Apparently it changed. I'll have to do my research again. Changed however long ago because somebody wanted to play golf for longer.
I would much prefer. I know there's always this debate. But
I love the debate. I think it's brilliant.
Prefer to have more light in the evening.
I think we should stay on British summertime. Just stay on British summertime.
Yeah.
Why do we change it?
Let's get political. Let us know what you
Seriously,
think.
why do we change it? What's the point? That could start a debate, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Don't discuss politics and religion.
No. But the point is, we'll swiftly move on. It's a great time to grow these on. There's still a lot of daylight, a lot of warmth, and you will save an absolute fortune. You'll end up with 60 wonderful plants. Do you know what? You could grow these from seed, but the amount of effort growing them from seed and then picking them all out
and stuff, isn't it?
All the hard work's been done, and they've been grown so well. I mean, that one plant there, look at it.
Yeah.
That's actually really strong already.
Look at the roots.
Yeah, it's amazing. So I grew loads of Pro Plugs this year. I did begonias from Pro Plugs. I saved a fortune, and they look amazing, they really do. So we're going to move on now to the Viola, the Valentino. Same thing, you get 60 Pro Plugs. These are violas, which are like a smaller version of a pansy, and every single one of these is just ready to be grown on.
Look at how many flowers we've got on there. And remember, the Pro Plugs are those smaller plug plants. And I just think it's amazing that we've got so many flowers growing on a plant that is actually, still quite small. But look at the root system. That's why. All the hard work done, looked after by our specialist growers, ready to get home to you. Plant them on, give them a couple of weeks, and then you're ready to put them outside.
The only thing we'll say with all of our Pro Plugs, just keep your eye on the watering. Do not let them dry out. They're still small, immature plants. So make sure you keep them well watered. Keep your eye on them. They're little babies, but they'll soon be strapping teenagers before you know it. They really will. Yes. Within a few weeks, they'll go from those little babies to strapping teenagers, and then big adults. And then finally, we have got the Dianthus, the Sweet William Gem variety. Beautiful colours here.
Oh, I love Sweet Williams.
They're rich, aren't they?
The scents that you get from them are just beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, even I've got bad sense of smell, but
they are lovely, aren't they?
Stunning, yeah.
And they're great for pollinators as well. The Royal Horticultural Society have given this their badge of perfect for pollinators, so great for looking after the pollinators in those colder months. Just gorgeous colour combinations, great for cut flowers if you want to bring those inside. And again, you've got amazing value for money because they just need growing on a bit.
And we should say all of these fully winter hardy as well.
Yeah, all of them, absolutely.
Yeah. So don't think, are they going to be all right in the winter months? Yes, they are. But all you need to is that little bit of growing on right now with either the Dianthus, the Viola, or of course the Bellis as well. But it works out just over, actually for club members, it's less than 20 pence a plant.
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it?
And get yourself that propagator kit. It's brilliant. Neil's got his.
Well, I want to show Neil's picture actually, if we can. Martin's telling us how far behind we are.
Are we behind?
We're 20 minutes. I did notice we're about 20 minutes behind our schedule. Never mind. Can I quickly just show Neil's picture?
Stu's away. I mean, we don't need to follow his schedule, do we?
Exactly. Because
I want to see Neil's picture.
Neil sent us his picture of these are the Pansy Pro Plugs that he's got.
I think it was a Cool Wave he bought, wasn't it?
Cool Wave, yeah. So he's got the Propagator kit. He's taken his Pro Plugs. He's planted them into the Propagator kit, and that's exactly what you could be doing with the Dianthus, with the Viola, with the Bellis, as long as you get hold of that Propagator kit as well. Just keep them on your windowsill somewhere, and they'll be ready to plant out in a few weeks' time.
And what I will say, initially, they never look great. Initially, I mean, they look fine. So I'm just having a look. I need to get close to the TV to see them. I've got a dodgy eye at the moment, but. Within a few weeks, Neil, you'll be amazed at the growth you'll get on those. You really will.
It's amazing how quick it happens.
Love it. So those are the Pro Plugs, 60 of those at those incredible prices today, 401164. Now, we would love you to join the club today if you are not already a member. We've already got 45,000. Yeah, not 45. 45,000 members. And if you join the club today, you can do it for as little as £5 for the year on auto renewal. And the benefits that you get are immense. We joined the club just over a year ago. We went for auto renewal, and that meant that we got an automatic renewal a couple of weeks ago, and the price was still £5. So You can go for the purple option, which is a one-off one-year membership, but why not save another £5 and go for auto-renewal? The price will never go up. If you want to cancel at the end of 12 months, you can, but these are the benefits that you will get. So 10% off every plant and accessory order. So that means compost, those lovely blue pots we've got, 10% off every plant and accessory order. You also get 5% off outdoor living and gifts. We do some lovely gifts around about Christmas time. We've got lots of garden equipment. This is brilliant. You get £20 back, in the form of vouchers, and you can use those against any orders. You've got to use, they come in £5 denominations, so you've got to use one at a time. But if you wanted to place 4 orders in a day, you could use those £20 worth of vouchers in a day. But it's £5 at a time, and also exclusive offers, competitions, and expert advice as well. So if you want to join the club, you can join today and save money off your first order. It's dead easy. You'll know if you're on our website right now. Basically, as you check out, it will give you a little reminder how you can save more money, and you just put the membership in your basket and you'll actually save 10% off your order today. So we've got 45,000 club members right now.
I love that you can start saving today.
I do.
So it's not a case of join the club and we have to send you out some information and you'll start saving on the next time you order. You can actually start doing that 10% discount literally on your first order today. You can't use the £5 vouchers until they get sent out to you, but that 10% discount is great.
It is. And most of our regulars have saved hundreds and hundreds of pounds. And you do get a real buzz when you put things in your basket and you use your offer code, the YGTV3724, and then your club discount kicks in as well. It's great. You just save so much money from joining the club. But we're going to go back to our favourites table. I say our favourites. This is your favourites table. You've loved every single one of these plants this week, and the Lobelia Queen Victoria is an unbelievable price. $6.99 for 3. I know.
Honestly, it's a. Was this the one we were calling the deal of the century earlier in the week, or deal of the year rather? Honestly, $6.99 for 3 of the Lobelia Queen Victoria is incredible. This is a hardy or winter hardy down to about -5, but perennial plant. So don't think about your summer bedding Lobelia. That's great for other things. This one will come back for you year after year. If you're expecting more than sort of -5 temperatures or less than -5 temperatures, then do think about just getting yourself some strulch. In fact, strulch for the Lobelia, because the slugs and snails like the new growth, don't they? So get yourself some strulch, give it that little bit of winter protection, and for years you will have one of the most gorgeous plants in your garden. Those flowers are incredible. They look like exotic birds, don't they?
And I know Bex has just said it, but I'm just going to reiterate.
You do it.
Lots of regulars did say they had a little bit of problems with slugs with this one. So yes, please protect them from the slugs.
Yeah.
Do use strulch or whatever you use. We recommend strulch, definitely. But it's an absolute beautiful, beautiful perennial. And the drama, it is drama, isn't it? Because
it's not just those red flowers, it's the foliage as well. That burgundy, dark, moody foliage is incredible.
You see, we've got a mutual friend, Martha. She'd be the Queen of Victoria, don't you think?
Dramatic.
Yeah.
Not moody, but dramatic.
No, and striking. I was thinking Martha's
definitely.
striking, and that. So you don't know Martha, but she's a mutual friend of ours, and
she's a peacock, isn't she?
Yeah, she's Lobelia Queen Victoria, believe me. Rudbeckia is coming up next. You're more like Rudbeckia, aren't you?
I'm reliable. Not so much of a peacock, but I can dress up if needed.
Yes. And this is Rudbeckia Goldsturm. Again, the same deal. 3 9cm pots for $6.99.
Yes,
normally £10 each these. It's amazing.
It's a massive saving on there, and I love the Rudbeckia because of the late season colour. It looks fantastic right now and has done for about 6 weeks. It's been looking incredible. Every single flower that's on that plant, on my plant right at home right now, looks as good as the day it first came out 6 weeks ago. And it's one of the things in my garden that at this time of year looks the best. Yeah. It's the one that draws the attention. And
Adam Woolcott, who's one of our other expert plant presenters, not people, he's planted this en masse in his garden.
Yeah, it looks incredible.
And he's a multi-award-winning garden designer at Chelsea, but he's used Rudbeckia in big clumps around his garden en masse. It looks spectacular.
I think en masse it looks amazing.
Yeah.
Like I've got one. In fact, I did plant a new one earlier on this year, but the one I'm talking about, I planted one, and it is a big clump of it now. Next year I'll divide it and spread it around the garden, but en masse it really is outstanding.
Yeah, so many flowers and so long lasting. Then we're going to move on to the Echinacea, but this is the Papallo orange variety. What a gorgeous colour. And actually say colour, there are colours, because as the flowers mature they go from kind of like a yellowy orange to almost like a pinky orange.
Yeah, and I think this with the Rudbeckia actually it is a gorgeous combination. I'm thinking about getting this today so I can plant it with my Rudbeckia. Sort of a similar shape to the flowers. You know, you've got the reflexed petals and the cone in the centre there that's really very wildlife friendly, bringing those pollinators in, but sort of slightly later summer flowers as well. So July time it'll start coming out, but it'll keep going into September. You can see how good the flowers are right now. And again, this is something I've said before about Echinacea, really long lasting flowers on the plant, weeks on end you get from them. Totally winter hardy, no extra winter protection to do here, and very little in the way of maintenance. You know, as and when the flowers go over, you might want to do a little bit of deadheading, but other than that you can pretty much leave this to do its own thing.
But I know a lot of us are very conscious now of getting more pollinators in the garden, and that's a fantastic one. The bees just love that. They really do. Now, my favourite, and I always say it, but it's so true, the Verbena bonariensis, and I only actually grew it for the first time last year. So it's been in my garden about 18 months. And, we might look at the clip of film again. That sounds good.
Yeah, let's look at your beautiful garden.
But only when Martin's ready. You let us know, Martin.
Look at how pretty that is, though.
Just gorgeous, isn't it?
I mean, Stu always says to us, doesn't he, borders without barriers, and that's exactly what Verbena bonariensis creates. We will change the details for you in a second because you're looking at the Echinacea, but we'll bring that up. It is a gorgeous plant, tall, willowy, everything that I wish I was.
And the great thing is, it doesn't need supporting. So although the stems are really slender, you can see them there, they're strong. So it never needs that extra support. You can always see through it. I call it the transparent plant. But it means that, you know, you imagine, you see the other border at the back, which actually looks pretty rubbish. I'm actually going to put, well, I've started to do it. I've actually started to put Verbena over there as well, because I think it will lift that whole side, because it's really quite dull.
I agree. You've got lots of green foliage over there, haven't you? Which is lovely, but add in a few of those Verbena and it's really going to pop. Yeah,
I've also got a fence that's falling to pieces, but, you know, the quote was 10 grand to replace that. It could be a while.
Could be all right. We'll leave it.
I'm just planting things in front of it so you don't see it. But the Verbena bonariensis, I mean, it softened that whole border. It is the most amazing winter hardy perennial, great for pollinators, and if you leave the flowers on, they do self-seed quite often. Mine did. So I've got loads of little babies free of charge as well. And then we've got the incredible Pansy Cool Wave. And have you grown the Pansy Cool Wave?
Years ago, not recently.
So last year
Last year I did do the Pansy Cascadia, which is very similar. It just trails a little bit more. But years ago I did the Pansy Cool Wave, and they are fantastic. I should do them again. They are absolutely incredible. I might get some to put in pots this year because they tumble, they cascade, they cascade, don't they? About 30 centimetres these should get to. So they're fantastic for hanging baskets, absolutely brilliant, but also really beautiful in pots, just tumbling over the edges.
I've still got some flowering in the pub garden that I look after, and they didn't even stop in July and August. They're supposed to be, they're in a slightly shady position, I suppose. But they flower for 10 months of the year. They just will not stop. They just are such hard workers, and you can keep them going to the next year. Just when they stop flowering, they do normally stop in the height of summer, chop them back, put them in a shady corner, and they'll just keep going for the next year and many more years as well.
Oh,
but these are the garden ready ones, so they can go straight in your pots and containers. I always plant some Cool Wave, and I have done mixed baskets with different pansies, but the Cool Wave, they always outperform. They really do.
Look at that one. That is one garden ready plant. Okay, so you can see really lovely white fibrous roots on there. But that one plug plant there, look at how many flowers are on that one right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7, 8 flowers on there.
Amazing.
On that garden ready plant. So just imagine that as it spreads and you know, gets to its full potential. And each one of these can spread to about 30 or 40 centimetres, each one of those.
Yeah.
And of course, on the buy one, get one free, that means you're getting 20 of them. That fills your hanging baskets beautifully. The pots gorgeously, but if you want to put them in the ground, you can as well.
In fact, we are going to do a demonstration of our, I'm just checking the time, of our easy fill hanging baskets in a little while. And we'll plant a basket up and we'll follow its progress.
Yeah.
So you'll see how these will literally fill a basket, and it will flower September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. So 10 months of the year. If you ever go on the YouGarden website, I know most of you are on there all the time, but we always give all the product information and the flowering times, and you'll see this one, we give you a flowering time of those 10 months, which is just incredible.
It smells so nice.
And you can eat them.
Do you know what? I'm just standing here thinking I can smell cucumbers. They've got a lovely kind of salady smell.
Yeah, they taste salady as well.
Yeah, I love them, and I do love the fact that we've got that buy one, get one free for you. So 20 garden-ready plug plants with a buy one, get one free. All you have to do is put one in your basket. Enter the code YGTV3724. The other pack of 10 will automatically be put into your basket, along with the free gift, which is that Garden News magazine this week.
Now, the demonstration of the hanging baskets is coming up. And it's a good, I mean, I know we've sort of joked about it, but it's a really great demonstration to watch, because if you don't know the easy for hanging baskets, they are a legend in gardening.
They are brilliant. We'll talk to you about all of the benefits of them when we do it.
They are superb, and I've used them for many, many years, and as has Bex. So we are going to make up a hanging basket using the easy fills in a few moments' time. Stay tuned for that. Keep your comments coming in. Remember, you can email us ygtv@yougarden.com. You can chat live on Facebook, YouTube. We would love to hear from you. But let's remind you of what we've seen so far on this live Sunday show here in the potting shed at the YouGarden nursery. So some great garden ready plants, and these are the Polyanthus Spring Fever. Now the Polyanthus, you get these big balls of flowers on the gorgeous stems. So great for the centre of a pot or the centre of a hanging basket, so you get a little bit more height with these. And really, these are going to flower from the autumn into the winter and the springtime as well. Classic colours when it comes to the Polyanthus there, the gorgeous yellows and whites and oranges, of course. And all that says with your Polyanthus, when the flowers grow over, take them off, and then you get lots more coming. So it is just important to keep taking off the dead flowers, and that will make them produce more and more and more throughout the autumn, the winter, and the springtime as well. And you have got £6.99 saving on those, 410 012. Then we've got the most stunning collection of primulas, and these are called the primulas Primlets, and they're like little rosebuds. They're doubles, so if you actually look at those, they're not single primulas, they are ruffled doubles, so they look a lot more prettier. I think they're a lot more kind of exotic looking, gorgeous, exquisite colours. So burnt oranges, lovely pinks, purples, reds, yellows, the entire colour palette is there. And again, you will save £6.99 today. That is a very expensive primula if you buy it individually normally. It can really cost an awful lot. But here on YouGarden, they're garden ready, they don't need any growing on, and they're just £12.99 or £11.69 if you are a discount club member. Then we brought you the Erigeron, known as Sea of Blossom, or Mexican flea bane is its other name. And actually this is it's one of those plants that kind of thrives in the poorest of conditions. So if you've got like really bad soil that's gritty, stony, if you've got maybe a rockery, something like that, if you've got a gravel garden, superb. So it really will thrive in very poor soil. It just doesn't want to be waterlogged, so it doesn't necessarily like heavy soils, but free draining, poor, gritty, grainy soils, it's going to be superb in. And it's spread, so this is like a ground cover plant. It doesn't grow too high, but it will spread up to maybe even 1 metre in terms of width. Flowers all summer long, so it can start April, May, all the way through to October. Then when it gets really cold and frosty, just cut it back. It will be pretty dormant during the winter and it will bounce back the following springtime. Love it, really lovely plant, and it is in part of the 3 for 2 offer today, 410 120. Then we also brought you some really great value plug plants. Now when I say plug plants, these are the pro plugs. So the smallest we actually do. That doesn't mean they're still not great quality, they just need a little bit of growing on over the next few weeks. So if you'd like 60 Bellis for the winter months, get this pack right now. Bellis have got these lovely kind of pom-pom shapes and pinks and reds and whites. One of my mum's absolute favourites, and they really do light up and brighten a winter garden. Great in beds, borders, pots, containers, and they're just £12.99 for all 60. It works out about 20 pence a plant, just under actually for our discount club members. Then also in the 60 Pro Plug range, we've got the Viola Valentinos. So violas, a little bit smaller than a pansy. So the same type of flower, but just a little bit smaller. Really pretty, and you tend to get even more flowers with these. And again, you're going to get all 60 for just £12.99, 401154. And then finally in the Pro Plugs today, we have got the Dianthus, the little gems. And they're called gems because I think you'll agree, these remind you of rubies and different coloured sapphires, like rainbow sapphires. Really pretty. Again, all of the Pro Plugs fully winter hardy. They just need that little bit of growing on over the next few weeks. 401164. And to grow these on, all you need, it's on our website, is that brilliant triple pack of the windowsill propagator kit. Everything you need there. So you've got the trays, you've got the lids, and that one kit will allow you to grow up to 90 plants at exactly the same time. So it's like a mini greenhouse that you can have inside on your windowsill. It's a brilliant one to invest in. 120,034 at just £8.99. And then something that's really fast growing is our Lavatera Marshmallow collection. You get 3 of these, and Lavateras, they produce in kind of like late summer the most beautiful, beautiful flowers. And these are like marshmallow colours, so pinks and whites. They're quite a free growing plant. When I say free growing, they're not formal, they kind of just twist and bend and just look really nice and natural in a country cottage garden. And they always flower on their new growth, so if ever they get a bit too big, you can easily chop them right back. I tend to prune off some of the growth in autumn when they've just flowered, and then if it's a little bit sort of like too big, a bit messy, I will chop it hard back in springtime. But you can actually get about 1 meter's growth in one season. That one, 5 to 1, 527. And then we've got the Red Hot Poker, the mini collection, the Nephophia, and it's called Popsicle. These are gorgeous. So these are 3 different plants. You get papaya, orange and mango. They are so bright and vibrant. And you can really grow these in all types of gardens, so modern gardens, in pots. You can grow them with your things like your palms for that Mediterranean look. They're great in coastal locations, city gardens, pretty much everything. Even like my mum's garden is country cottage, but actually these work there. They can look really, really good amongst other plants, and they flower at this type of year. 561217. And then don't forget, if you're looking for amazing value today, we have got the Cottage Garden perennials. Now these are on a buy one get one free. So you buy 12, you get another 12 absolutely free. And although contents may vary slightly, all of the perennials will be kind of proven ones in the UK. There'll be perennials that will come back, as it says in the name, every single year, and a huge variety from salvias, hollyhocks. You may get things like your Verbena, bonariensis Goya that we're looking at right now, the Siskiyou variety. There'll be all sorts in there. But it's all about value. They're working out about 50 pence each today, and all you need to do is put them into pots. There's some lovely hollyhocks there, but put them into pots and grow them on for next spring when you can plant them in, of course, your beds. But I remember many years ago on the shopping channel that I was at for 23 years, and you were there similar amount of time, weren't you? Yeah. But the Easy Fill hanging baskets arrived, and do you know what? I think we sold about 1 million of them, not in one go, but over a period of time. And we have got them available today. Now, I know a lot of you will have still got your Easy Fill baskets because they last for years, but you might be new to the concept.
Or you want to add to what you've got already.
Yeah.
You have to have two, you can find places for your hanging baskets, can't you?
But they're called Easy Fill, the clue is in the name. Because baskets can be a little bit tricky to make up sometimes, can't they?
Yeah, they can be. And, you know, you have to buy replacement liners and this, that and the other.
And they're expensive now.
Yeah.
They are.
With these, you don't need to do that at all. So once you've got these are your hanging baskets for spring, for summer, for autumn, for winter, for many years to come. Now, they've got these massive, great big holes in them, and you're thinking, hang on. Plant's going to fall out, compost's going to fall out. You don't need to worry because they come with these gates that you're going to put into place. But the great thing with this particular system is you can create that wonderful ball of colour because you're not just planting into the top of the hanging basket, you're actually going to plant into the holes around the side. So that creates that lovely ball of colour so much quicker than waiting for what you put in the top to come and grow down the sides here.
And the rattan baskets we had earlier, obviously you can't put plants inside of that, but when I've used liners and things, actually to cut a hole in the liner and get the plant in there is actually quite difficult.
Yeah.
These just pop in.
They just pop in, and I love the way, so what you can do is you can feed these from the outside in. So rather than trying to go inside out, and then you're trying to shimmy the plant in, don't do that, go from the outside in. I'm actually going to double plant these because I'm an overplanter and I don't care. So I'm actually going to put 2 into each of these holes, and that's fine, you can do that because the gates will allow you to do it.
I'm liking your extravagant style today.
Love it. So I've put my 2 plants in there. I'm going to take the gate that you can see now, and I'm going to put that into place. Now what I do is just make sure I'm not trapping any of the foliage in there, pop that into place, and then click. You can hear that is now clicked into place. So the plants aren't going to fall out, and when I fill up with compost, the compost isn't going to be able to get through these holes.
You just tilt that forward, just
of
so
course.
I just look. Can you see there? So none of this has been damaged. So that's just brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
It's awesome, honestly.
So good.
So take another 2
I must admit, I've
plants.
never double planted like this, but I'm in favour for bigger display sooner.
I've done it with mine at home. So I double plant. I'm going to just gently sort of push them into the centre there so that I can then get my gate in place, pop that in, click it into place, and you can get them out as well easily. So go round to the next one. 2 more plants going into this one. I'll put them both in at the same time.
What I also love about these baskets, they've got a flat base. Now, some of mine are round bottom. Some I've got some like cone-shaped ones as well. And it's really difficult when you're planting because quite often you're having
wobbling all over the place,
you're having to balance them in a bucket or something. But you've got the nice flat bottom one here. In goes that gate. And a little clip.
Click it into place, make sure it's secure in there, and off we go. So we're halfway through already.
But it is about having all of that gorgeous colour at the sides. So when you've got a solid hanging basket, it takes forever, for especially in the winter, for the plants to start trailing over.
Yeah, absolutely. So this just makes it nice and easy, but quicker results from it, basically. Just click that into place, make sure it's nice and secure, round to the next one.
No, I'm just thinking, some of my Easy Fill baskets must be about 15 years old.
Yeah, I mean, I reckon I've had, because I bought mine way back, so I reckon I've had mine for a good 10 years now. They are really long lasting.
But we've got a pair of them today. They do come with the chains as well. $10.49, and the chances are you will have them for pretty much a lifetime.
Yeah, for sure.
Just a little tip when you're not using them. Just make sure you don't lose the gates, because I did do that a couple of times. It's like, I'm a gate short, and that is really annoying if you lose a gate.
I wonder if we sell replacement gates. I wonder if we sell those. If we don't, we definitely should.
Just make sure you don't lose them.
Yeah. I take them out when I'm not using them. Just give it a little hose down, clean it down, and just put everything back inside the hanging basket, so it's there and it's ready to go.
Do you know, when I think about the other baskets, and I've got a variety of baskets. I've got easy fill, I've got wicker, and I've got metal ones that have liners. The liners are getting more and more expensive. They really are. There you go. So we're halfway there.
That's it done. How many have we used? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So I've used 12 in this pot so far, and that's just around the edges.
That is a lot, Bex.
It's a lot. It's more than you need. But I'm an overplanter, and I don't care.
And the truth is, we want this to look as good as soon as possible, because we are going to monitor it. But you could obviously get away putting one in each of those. But
yes.
We want it to look good like next week, don't we?
So all I'm going to do now is put some more compost on the top of there. Just push that down a little bit, secure it into place. One more handful, I think, on there. So in we go with that one. Now, I am also going to plant around the edges here with my trailing ones. So do you want to do the middle one first?
It's up to you. Do you want to put some in the centre? It's up to you.
So Shaun's picked this one.
An escalonia. I always like something evergreen in the centre. And we've got lots of small kind of evergreen plants on the YouGarden website. You don't have to, but I like to have something evergreen in the centre.
No, I like it. I mean, that's not going to stay in there, obviously,
no,
because it will
one
grow
season,
big. But over the winter, it does add that lovely height. Then what I'm going to do is take a bunch more. Oh, I forgot to put the ivy in.
Yeah, but I think the ivy can go around the sides.
Should we do the ivy over the top? Right, so I'm going to go just around the edges slightly with my Pansy Cool Waves. And then we're going to go ivy. I probably should have put these around the sides, shouldn't I? Can you wedgie those out? Because the roots are really strong on those. So let's go around the top with these ones. So we're going to go around the edge here. Make a little hole, put that one in the top. And that's just going to then tumble and trail over the edges. Put my little garden ready in there. Get the other ivy in this side.
And I'll be honest, it doesn't, whenever you make one of these up, this is the worst it will ever look.
I think that looks pretty good straight away, doesn't it?
But this is the worst it will ever look today. So you'll see within the next week or so, it's amazing. Because what happens is the pansies will naturally start to look upwards a bit. At the moment, they're sort of like just facing down a little bit. But you'll see within 24 hours, it's amazing how this will really, really start to perk up.
The roots on that.
I know.
So let's get that one into that space there. Just firm all of that into place. And there we go. That's how quick and easy it is to make that part of the hanging basket. They come with the chains. Now this is the 12-inch one, so it comes with a 3-chain system. So what I'll do is find the hole. Where's my hole? There. So it's a T-bar system. So what you do is you drop the T-bar through the hole. I'm trying to do it so you can see it. So I'm working backwards here, guys. I would normally do this on my side.
Actually, I'm thinking there.
What? Drop the T-bar in. Oh.
I'm thinking we should have put some spring bulbs in as well.
Yeah, we totally should, didn't we? Drop your T-bar in, and then when you lift that up, obviously that secures it into place there. So you just go round and do that with the other ones. And it is a 3-bar system, so you just got 3 of those to add in, and then that's it. You're done. You're ready to hang it up.
So I'm thinking, because you get a pair, after the show, we might make another one up and we could put some crocus in. Do you think?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. But that looks great, Bex.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're ready.
Yeah.
Now you can water that, hang it up, and I know it looks a little bare around the sides at the moment, but honestly, within a few weeks, that's going to fill out. The ivy is going to tumble over the edges. We've got a few of the Pansy Cool Wave cascading over the edges as well. That will create a beautiful ball of colour.
That'll be massive in a few weeks, won't it? But we always say that's the worst it'll look, and that looks pretty good right now, doesn't it?
I'm impressed. I like it.
But it's so easy. And say, I mean, God, I can't imagine how many of these have been sold in the UK, but just on our previous channel, it was millions, I think.
So many of them, and they are very long-lasting. So as Shaun said, once you've got them, it's not something you have to buy every year.
That is the trouble with the Easy Fill from a retailer's point of view. You know, like the garden centres, a lot of them don't sell the Easy Fill and the DIY stuff because they love you to buy those new liners all the time. They really do. But that is something that will last for, I've had some of mine say probably about 15 years.
And I like that size actually. We do a larger size, but I think the 12-inch is a really gorgeous size, and imagine that when it's filled out. That's going to be absolutely beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, so we're going to hang that up outside.
We'll keep an eye on it. We'll look after it.
And we will monitor that for you. But that's great. Really good. And that's a Easeville hanging baskets. You do get a pair 130260. By the way, if you've just joined us, a very, very warm welcome. Welcome to YouGarden TV with myself, Shaun and Bex Edwards. Just really quickly, free delivery when you spend over £40. So do bear that in mind. Try and, you may be thinking, oh yeah, could do with a few of those baskets. Add those to your order. If it comes to over £40, free delivery. Use the offer code, which is YGTV3724. That offer code unlocks all the current promotions. It will also give you your free gift this afternoon, which is the UK's biggest and best-selling gardening mag. You won't get this issue. This was last week. You'll get the latest issue, but that is free with every single order. Now, we were saying it is bulb planting season, but not everyone loves to plant bulbs. We do, but...
Yeah, but you know what? Even when I do plant my bulbs, and I've been gardening a while and I love it, but it is about getting the right mix, perfectly spaced, with the right combinations, so that you get the most beautiful display and maybe even the longest lasting display. This is where lasagna planting and thing comes in. By going for this balcony, the planter mat, somebody has taken the time, somebody in the know knows which varieties to put together, the spacing, so that you get a real designer look to it.
Yeah, it's... This hasn't been put together by chance.
No.
It really hasn't. All of those bulbs will have been placed in a specific order. So you again get the most amazing display. And actually, we've planted a few of these up at the nursery.
Yeah.
And when they start to flower, I mean, sometimes because we literally do what we're doing now and then put them outside, and then we'll come back to work and we'll sort of go, oh my word.
We did it earlier this year, didn't we? So we planted one of these up last year.
Forgot about it then, didn't we?
And then in springtime, we were like, look at that, look how cool it is.
So they are amazing. And all of the bulbs, they're basically in this mat, which is biodegradable. But there's all different varieties of bulbs, but they're all spaced differently and at different depths as well. We'll give you the details, so we've still got the details on the hanging baskets there, 130260. But this is the autumn bulb and planter deal. So you get the window box, you get the planter mat, and you even get 20 litres of our premium professional compost for under £20. Hang on, that is for all three items, isn't it?
It's for all three items, yeah. So you're getting everything you need here. So
that's amazing.
I mean, even going for a pair of these would be great. It's a wonderful idea as a gift as well, because you're giving them all the components they need to do it. If you've got kids in the family, what a great way to get them involved, because they can get their hands dirty and do a little bit of it, but they're going to get the best results.
And remember, if you want to go for a pair of these, you'll still just be slightly under £40. So put one of the item in your basket, and that'll give you free postage as well.
I love the mix that we've got in here. I mean, we've got the tulip, the red ones. We've got tete-a-tete daffodils in here. We've got the minnows. We've got crocus, muscari. We've got scilla. We've got tulips. We've got the early flowering yellow tulips in there as well. So all of the varieties are on the side there, but you don't need to worry about that. All you do is take this out of that box. The only thing you might want to do is just inside there, you can see all the bulbs have been perfectly spaced and the correct depths and things. You can see some are deeper than the others. And you might want to just make sure the pointy sides are facing up. But you know what? I wouldn't worry too much about it. Nature will find a way. And then what you're going to do is take that. You can see I've put a layer of compost in the bottom there, and you're going to drop that into the planter.
I mean, how easy is this?
That is the perfect size to go into that planter there for you. And then put some compost over the top.
And we should say, you are going to still have loads of compost left, aren't you?
Yeah, this 20-litre bag will still leave compost left over for you to do something else with as well. So just break that up and into there, firm it down a little bit, fill in any of the gaps, give it a little water, and that'll help it just to settle in and fill the gaps. And that is it.
I mean, that is such a good kit. And actually, think about this for club members, $17.99. You're getting the window box, you're getting that amazing planter mat, which has got 38 stunning bulbs in there, all ready to flower in springtime, and you even get 20 litres compost. You're probably only going to use about half of that. So what a complete package that is.
I love it. I think it's great. And because you've got a variety in there, so, you know, so muscari, crocus is probably going to be the first one coming up. And then you'll get the daffodils popping up, and then the muscari will come, and then the tulips will start coming up. So it won't all come out all at the same time, but what you'll get is a succession of flowers. So this one tub here will last probably across a period of maybe 10 to 12 weeks with all those flowers popping through.
And they'll all be really nicely spaced. You won't suddenly get a big clump of flowers over that side and nothing this side.
Which is what happens when I do my planting.
It can have 201115. Now, one of my favourite items of all time, heavy duty pots, and Bex will echo me on this.
Definitely.
Something that we use every single time we garden. In fact, I was really pleased yesterday because I was busy doing some work inside, and my other half, Joe, was outside using the heavy-duty pots.
Was he?
Yeah, I was like, look at that, you know, trimming back all the books as hedges, actually. But these are, first of all, these are actually grow pots. So anything you're growing, like tomatoes, raspberry canes, I've grown mini orchards in here, potatoes, you name it, you can pretty much grow pretty much all your fruit and veg in here. Now, that little finger that's just poking through there is demonstrating the fantastic drainage, because most plants and fruit and veg hate being waterlogged. There's the odd exception, but most hate being waterlogged. It's really wet now in the UK. So, drainage holes at the bottom, but extra drainage holes around the side. I've never had a heavy-duty pot that's been waterlogged.
No, and this is why these are used as commercial growing pots, because when we get those massive, great big deluges of rain, obviously, if you haven't got good drainage in the pots that are there, those roots can be sat in water for ages, and over-watering a plant, or plants sitting in lots of water for any prolonged period of time, can be the death of those plants. Yeah. They really can struggle to recover from that. But this means that there is extra space for that drainage to run away.
But there's so many other jobs, and let's just give you a little idea in my garden. So that's where the big eucalyptus tree is, and there's always loads of mess around it. And these are 30 litres, which means you're not constantly having to empty them and go to the green bin. I've got 2 Christmas trees living in them right now, and they will take pride of place.
Is that a little chair you've got there, like a driftwood chair or something?
Yeah, that was that was from the previous shopping channel.
That's beautiful.
In the year 2000.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they look.
There
It's
so
cute.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Anyway, heavy duty pots.
Yeah, so Christmas trees, they're gonna, I mean, what I will do is I'll put some like hessian and I'll make them look festive, but they live in there out of the way. Tomatoes, I grew some tomatoes in heavy duty, some in smaller pots. The ones in the heavy duty did so much better because they did not dry out. Whenever I'm just doing general jobs and I've got lots of tools and I'm going to another part of the garden, I put them all in the one heavy duty pot, and because you've got the handles, they're easy to move around. Right, that Unanimous, I don't like it, I don't know what to do with it, so it's got a temporary home. It's been about 3 years.
Yeah, this is a great way to use these for temporary homes. I've got a couple of rose bushes I've planted in these because I just don't know where to plant them. They can live in there for years, to be perfectly honest, whilst I'm deciding what to do with them.
And even compost, I find it easy with the big bags of compost decanting out of a heavy duty pot. So that's what I do. And then all of your deadheading, they are so much better than a garden truck because they're strong, they've got big handles. I was just tidying up the cordyline there. But you can get so much in them, and to get 4 today for $17.99, these should last you. I've had mine over 10 years. And they're still going really, really strong. They're amazing, aren't they? Amazing.
Yeah, no, I've grown all sorts in there. I'll count them up, but I think I've got about 15 to 20 currently with plants in the garden.
Have you really?
Yeah, genuinely. I've grew my tomato plants, and I just trimmed those down, actually. So I've got 3 pots spare to do something with now because I've taken my tomato plants down. But honestly, I've got so many things growing in these. But like Shaun, I use it as my general garden tidy trug. Every time I go to the shed, I grab one of these. It's got my knee pad, my secateurs, my gloves, my trowel, my little fork, everything that I use on a regular basis, I just pick it up and take it into the garden.
They're brilliant. If I had to choose only one garden essential, that really would. So get them today.
Used the most.
$17.99, particularly as we're headed to autumn. There's going to be lots of leaves falling down, lots of tidying up. You will absolutely love having those heavy-duty pots. Now, we've still got loads to show you. Don't forget, place your orders on YouGarden.com. Spend over £40. You're going to get free delivery. You're going to get a free gift with every order. And to get all of the offers, just put in that code YGTV3724. But we're only the deputy head gardeners here,
Deputy, I know.
I'm the head gardener at the Fox Pub.
I'm the head gardener in my garden.
Yes. But we do have a head gardener here. It's a wonderful Peter McDermott. And we've just got a little clip of him right now. We'll be back shortly.
Did you know we have a discount club? And actually, since we've launched it over the years, tens and tens of thousands of people have actually become members. And when you become a member, what do you get? Well, first of all, you get a discount. All of the plants you buy, you get 10% discount, and that's on top of any other discounts you may have. Additionally, you also get 4 vouchers that are each worth £5 when you place an order. So you can place 4 orders over the course of the year and redeem one of those £5 vouchers each time. And even when you think about those expensive capital items, such as lawnmowers, garden machinery generally, etc., you get 5% off those items as well, just by being a member. The best way to join our discount club is to pay £5 per year on auto renewal, which means that at the end of your year, you don't need to take any action. We will automatically just renew your membership. The great thing about that is if you join today and you pay the £5, we guarantee we will never put your price up. So in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time, if you're still a member, still enjoying all of those benefits, you will pay no more than the £5 per annum that you sign up to on day one. One of the things I really love about our membership club is you can start using it the day you join. So if you're placing an order today, you literally can join today and get the discount off of that same order the very day you join. This is a great way for you to really buy products for your garden at the best possible prices, and we'll deliver them to you nursery fresh at exactly the right time.
Well, this is where I've put a rigger on in my garden, because this whole board, I'll be honest, it's very rubbly. Haven't really worked out quite what to do with it, but I wanted ground cover. And there's only about 3 plants here. They've been here a couple of years and they just flower all summer long for 6-7 months of the year. And what I've done, I've actually extended. So now, because they did so well then, this is often a tip, if you see a plant doing well, then you might want to repeat it somewhere nearby or get a similar variety. So I've actually just planted a few more plants along here. And the great thing is they will just flower and flower all summer long. Each plant can get up to about 1 metre by metre. The flowers change colour, so sometimes they're white, sometimes they're dark pink, light pink. And at the end of the year, all I'll do is literally trim them back, and we'll do it all again next year and the year after and the year after. It's known as Mexican flea bane, that's the popular name for it. And it's one of those plants that will tolerate a very poor soil, likes lots of sun, and needs very little love and attention. It's just a brilliant ground cover plant that will flower all summer long and produce thousands of flowers. And they're like little daisies, which I love. Well, this edge of my patio looks a little bit severe and harsh, I think you'll agree. But if I take you around this side, I actually planted last year Verbena bonariensis, and I just love this because you still get the view but it softens the whole border. And I just adore these like pom-poms of purple. And it's a massive one for the pollinators as well. You get so many bees just dancing around here. But Verbena bonariensis, it's often known as a transparent plant. And what it does, it really highlights other plants in your beds and borders without dominating. You can always see through it. You've got these lovely kind of, I always call them like plants that look like they've done Pilates, because you've got these long, lean kind of stems and side stems, and there's these little purple pom-poms on the edge of every one. So they never block, they never dominate, they never overtake, but they complement all the other plants in the garden. Now, these are in full flower right now. Last year, I let them go to seed. I want to show you what's happened. So if you come and take a look down here, I mentioned that I let these go to seed last year. They look really attractive during the winter, but look, there are now hundreds of mini Verbena bonariensis. Look, loads and loads of these. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to dig these up and I'm going to plant them all the way around the garden. So imagine what I've got here. I can have the other side of the patio, and then I really want, that border's a bit dull over there, so I'm just going to plant dozens of Verbena bonariensis, and I think it's going to look great. And all these plants were free just from the seeds from these.
We describe this as premium professional compost. And the reason for that is it is the compost that is known, this formula we have perfected over decades. So I've been using it for decades. We have perfected it over decades. You've got a blend of the best peats plus wood fibre that you can imagine. Now, by volume, approximately 50% of this compost is wood fibre, and the balance is made up of a blend of peats, and there are 3 different peats. So you've got things like sphagnum moss peat, which is renewable. You've got sedge peat, and then you've got darker sphagnum as well in there. So you've got 3 different peats. You've also got, you can see actually just there, there's slow release fertiliser. These little green, what look like little eggs, you'll see those dotted among the compost when you're planting it. That's slow release fertiliser. One of the most expensive ingredients in any compost is fertiliser. You can see that there's another one just down below. That is amazing because that will deploy nutrients to the roots of whatever you grow in this compost just when they need it over the next 6 months. You then got what's called a buffer. Now, peat in particular is naturally acidic. So, and plants like to be just on the acidic side of neutral as a generality. There are exceptions, so things like rhododendrons and azaleas, they love to be properly acidic in terms of the ericaceous soil or compost they're growing in. But most things like it just on the slightly acidic edge of neutral. So that's what this is designed to give you. So it's got a pH buffer to keep it in exactly that zone. The wood fibre keeps the sort of perfect air-water porosity ratio, which is what we talk about in the trade, all these complicated terms. But it's, what plants need is they need a jungle gym to grow in. So they need a jungle gym for their roots, which is called growing medium. They need some water, and they need some air, and they need nutrients. And when you've got the perfect compost, it blends the air and the water and the constituents of the compost. It all blends together to give the perfect environment. That's what this particular compost does, which is why it's trusted by us. We will be growing approximately 150,000 potted roses on this nursery this year. That's roughly what we grow most years. We'll be growing, I don't know how many hanging baskets, but our pre-planted hanging baskets that will be available later, you will have bought them in the autumn and last spring as well. They grow in this compost. We will grow countless perennials, whether they be in the 9 centimetre square pots or the 3 litre pots or the 5 litre pots, plus fruit trees. And this is the compost we use for all of those things. So we trust it, the trade trusts it, and actually based upon the well, literally hundreds and hundreds of thousands of bags of this particular compost that you've bought over the years, you definitely trust it as well. And, you know, and actually, peat is a thing. We need to think about peat. Not me. I happen to also be peat, but it's the peat that's in here that we're talking about. We can still use peat in our gardens right now, and actually the alternatives generally speaking, are a bit iffy. So if you want to get the best results, in my view, use this particular compost for as long as you can. It's got 50% other material in it, which is the lowest level we could get to and still have a professional quality product for you and for ourselves. So we've been as eco-friendly as we can, and we jumped onto that particular that approach years and years and years ago. So this is the same formulation that we've had for at least the last 6 or 7 years, with 50% other material to bulk out the peat, and it still works better. So I would say this is, in my opinion, it's the only compost I use at home. It's the compost we use on the nursery. I can't recommend it highly enough.
Yeah. And as if by magic, we are back.
Hey.
Yay! That's our lovely Peter there, who's our head gardener here, of course, at YouGarden. We are going to have a look at some of your pictures and your emails and your messages. Just very quickly before we do, don't forget, if you spend over £40 today, you will get the free delivery. A lot of you have been putting on the group chat that you are spending over £40, which I don't blame you. If you can't spend over £40, we do cap the postage at £6.99. So, you know, I appreciate not everyone can spend over £40 today, but the most you'll ever pay is £6.99. We do love our free gift, don't we?
We do love the free gift. So it is the Garden News magazine, and we've been doing this, or we will be doing it for 4 weeks in a row. Last week was this issue. This week is the next issue. You will get the new issue. So it will be dated September the 14th. It's the best-selling garden magazine. Loads of hints and tips and things in there. You know, what was his name?
Nick Bailey.
Nick Bailey, thank you.
Sorry, Nick, if you're watching.
Sorry, Nick. Nick Bailey's written in here. There's Carol Klein who did one in here. So there's loads of tips and hints and tricks and things that you can do. Planting schemes, just ideas, and it's lovely to sit down and read about stuff.
It's great. I always read a garden magazine when I can't actually get out of the garden, you know, so you can still be gardening, so to speak, but in your mind, can't you?
Well, I like this one. So there's one about getting ready to make leaf mould, which is brilliant at this time of year, so you can make your own leaf mould.
Yeah.
Put down, can't you?
There's, honestly, so much you can learn in this magazine, and you are going to get the latest issue this week, of course. And don't forget, if you want to stock up on your premium professional compost, you will get 100 litres for £24.98. For all of you 45,000 club members, you'll get a price with 10% off, which is £22 and 48 pence, saving £2.50. Right, should we look at some pictures then, Bex?
Let's take a trip to some gardens. Penny has sent us a picture. I think she's showing us Daisy more than the plants, but I don't mind. This is Daisy at 5 months of age. Love it, look. Oh, little Daisy.
Daisy, you're so gorgeous. But again, look at those incredible begonias.
Look.
Yep.
Look at the flowering displays that you get from them. We bang on about begonias every year, don't we?
Yeah, but
this is exactly why.
And they do not care what summer we've had. They really don't.
They're absolutely fine with the weather, not a problem at all. So that was Penny and the lovely Daisy. Thank you for sending that picture in, Penny.
Daisy's so
Lots
cute.
to get through for you though. So Penny sent that in. George has sent. He's going to make us jealous.
I know.
Here's the Caribbean lily. This is the aerial view of the Caribbean lily. All the bulbs offers, that's coming up in a second, and that is one of the ones you can get. Yeah. It's an incredible
I think last year, of all the pictures that were sent in of bulbs, the best ones were definitely the Caribbean lily. And so many of you had great success with those. So they are on the show, as we said, on the 3-2 offer, but selling really quickly.
Eleanor has said, I planted Rudbeckia when it was in my Lucky Dip perennials, not knowing what it was, and look at it now. Also my Queen Victoria Lobelia from last year. The slugs are the lot this year.
Ate the lot of that.
Ate the lot, probably.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that Rudbeckia though. That's what we're banging on. Whenever we go to Rudbeckia, that's what we're talking about.
And to think that was one from the Lucky Dip where you got the 9cm pot. That's done amazing, hasn't it?
I love it.
Yeah, well done.
So
Fantastic,
bright,
that.
so beautiful. So that's the Rudbeckia. She's got another picture for us though, which I'm going to assume is the Queen Victoria. So let me bring that one in for you. Yeah. Oh! Look at how beautiful that is.
I mean, it's one of the most stunning perennials, isn't it?
The red is so red.
Isn't it?
A bright scarlet red colour. It messes with your eyes, it's so bright red.
And don't forget, we are doing 3 of those today for £6.99. So that's the gorgeous Queen Victoria Lobelia.
Yeah, so Keith, or should I say Dingo? This is Dingo, isn't it? Yes, Dingo here. Just placed my mass orders, might need more pots. Oh, she sent us a picture of what he spent. So the Peruviana, the Caribbean lily, he's got his magazine for free and he's got his Lobelia in there. You can actually see the savings that he's making in there as well. From that's his order there.
And good shopping, because he actually, look, he's gone for 4 of the Lobelia and 2 of the Caribbean lilies.
Nice.
And obviously got the free magazine there as well. And that would have taken him over £40, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant.
So he's going to get free postage on that one as well. Let's have a look at the picture. He sent another picture, is that... Oh.
But hang on.
This is carrying it on, sorry, this is keeping on going.
Oh, there's all this as well.
Freebies, because I did think then you've only ordered 2 lots of the Caribbean lily, but his muscari has come through as free. He's also ordered some other bulbs there, which means his fritillaria has come through free. That's awesome.
I mean, do you know what I like about his selection? He's gone for all the unusual ones, hasn't he? Pretty much.
And also, he's not shopping just from what we've got today. There's a couple in there, like Echinacea, the fritillaria orange. You know, those aren't on our actual show today, but of course you can shop the entire website. So thanks for showing us what you're ordering. That
fritillaria orange is absolutely superb. Yeah, that's another one. That grows really well with the Caribbean lily, actually, because you get the height, and then you get if you do the lilies around it, can look really good.
Echinacea. George just sent us his picture of his Echinacea, and he just says, "Love my Echinacea." Yeah, I can see why. Look at it. That is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Absolutely adore that.
So, keep these pictures coming in.
Hang on,
we've got some good gardeners out there, haven't we?
Elaine sent a few pictures. Let's have a look first of all. First one, Rudbeckia.
Yeah.
There it is, looking stunning in your garden there. Beautiful. Like your bark mulch you've got going on around the base as well. So that's looking pretty.
A lot of people are ordering the bark mulch today, actually. It's such good value, isn't it?
Yeah, look. So
is this Elaine's again?
Yeah, Elaine again. But you can see all the mulch and the bark going on around there as well.
Good choice, Elaine, because it just means less weeding, doesn't it? And I do think it tidies everything up beautifully.
Yeah, looking really pretty.
Yeah, looking really pretty.
Do you know what? I love that we're here, and you're taking advantage of what we've to see what it looks like. It gives me a warm, fuzzy feeling.
It does though, and so many of you, we do keep looking at your gardens, and they're just getting better and better.
They are getting better. Tony's got a bone to pick with you.
Okay, Tony.
Hi Bex, just 3 photos of what I've been doing with the bark offer, but thanks to Shaun, I now have to buy 4 more bags. I have not liked all my pots just standing on the slabs, and when Shaun had the idea of what he's going to do, he's going to send you the bill.
Hey, my bill's big enough because I'm buying loads of the bark as well.
Oh, but this looks really good, look. So he's got his pots down there, look, but can you see all the bark mulch around the base?
Yeah, it just does tidy everything up, doesn't it?
It does, it looks super neat. He's got his Laval planters there.
Yeah, I think that looks great, Tony.
Verbena in that pot there.
Tony, I don't feel guilty at all inspiring you to buy more bark.
No.
I don't, because it looks so good.
It does look good.
Yeah.
He sent us 2 more pictures as well.
The bark is such a good deal today. I honestly want to do a whole section of my garden with it.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I love what he's doing with that bark mulch there. Yeah, that's
God.
really pretty.
And I have to say, if that was taken, in the last few days, a lot of his summer bedding is looking great still. Yeah. Oh, your Gladiolus.
I love Polyanthus.
That shouldn't be flowering now.
Yeah, I've got a few flowers.
Have you?
Mine as well, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, you just never know nowadays, do you?
That looks gorgeous.
Yeah, all the geraniums looking good. Anyway, thank you so much. The reason I keep disappearing, by the way, it's just so I can see the pictures closer.
Oh, Neil's asking a question. I've received an email from YouGarden with a code for 25% off an order. Can I use that alongside the weekly offer code? I don't think you can.
No, it's one or the other.
It's one or the other normally.
Yeah, what we tend to do, if there's ever a couple of conflicting codes or codes running at the same time, we put the order on the website and put in one code, see how much it costs, and then try the other code, and whichever is...
to see which ones you're getting from. Normally, and I'm not going to say every single time, but probably 9 times out of 10, the better code is going to be the YGTV code. Yeah. We do seem to have better discounts.
We do.
But just try both codes and see.
Yeah.
You can't use 2 codes at the same time.
No, you can use at the same time. If you've got any of the vouchers from joining the discount club, you can use those alongside the YGTV offer code because it's a different box.
Yeah, there's 2 boxes. So there's one that's an offer code, which will be this one, and there's a discount code, which will be your £5 off with your club.
But generally speaking, the YGTV code is the best, and we always do try and save as much money as possible ourselves as well.
I was just going to go into the YouTube chat because there's a few updates in here. So Neil was saying the Propagator kit is ideal for growing pro plugs. Mine's on the side of the kitchen near the window.
We saw it with your coffee cups.
That's Rocky. My cat tries to knock them off the windowsill. Cats, isn't it?
Glad Rocky's doing okay, by the way.
So yeah, somebody else was asking about what do I grow in the propagator kits. Well, pro plugs are fantastic, and we've got 3 different options of pro plugs. Also, if you're going to do seed sowing this year, like I did my... what were the seeds we did? They're blooming fast.
You did sweet peas?
Sweet peas, thank you. Yeah, I did my sweet pea seeds in the propagator kit, and they came up beautifully.
Yeah.
And so if you're doing any seed sowing, they're great for propagator kits as well. And Elaine says, I'm on my 3rd bag of bark, and I've ordered 3 more.
Very good.
Brilliant. Yeah,
Yeah.
The bark kit is a great one.
It's such a good price, and to get the free delivery on it as well. So yeah, thank you to everybody for being part of our group chat today. We've got another hour with you. We're here live until 2 o'clock this afternoon. Myself, Shaun Ryan and Bex Edwards. Lovely to be with you, but try and save as much money as possible. Try and get your order to over £40. You will get free delivery. Put that off code in. It will unlock all of the various promotions that are currently active. But we're going to move to the middle because we have got some fantastic bulbs for you. And these are very much on a mix and match basis. So whatever you fancy, put 3 in your basket and you'll only pay for 2. A lot of you have gone for 6 actually. So you're paying for 4, but you've gone for 6. But there are 7 to choose from. A lot of people are going for the more exotic ones, actually.
Yeah, and then we do find this. Obviously, you know, you've got your firm favourites. Like, I mean, I should have daffodils in my garden. Why have I not got daffodils in my garden?
I don't know.
But we've got those offers so that you can stock up on your firm favourites. But yeah, the slightly more unusual ones, now's a good time to give these.
Yeah.
We've got that 3 for 2 offer.
And we're going to start off with the Gladiolus, the byzantinus Gladiolus. Got my teeth in this time. And you get 35 of these extraordinary bulbs. When I say extraordinary, I love the flowers on these. That kind of crimson pink is just breathtaking, really striking actually.
Very, very striking. Nice height, not as tall as other gladioli that you can get.
No.
These will still get to about a couple of feet in height, so 50, 60 centimetres. Wonderful if you're planting these into the middle of a border somewhere. Definitely want to plant these in groups together. I probably do 12 or 15 of these in a group together. They're going to flower for you sort of later on, so I always say spring flowering, May time, but you know, May and June, so just tickling into summer as well here. Very reliable bulb here, really reliable sort of cottage garden feel you can create from these. You've got the lovely sword-shaped leaves there as well, which is a perfect backdrop for these gorgeous tall flowers. And of course, if you want to cut these and bring them indoors and have gorgeous indoor displays, you can.
Do you know, I think they're a little bit more delicate looking than some of the gladiolus out there.
Agree,
yeah,
definitely.
They love it, and they've got a really nice kind of, I'd say, country cottage feel to them as well. And you are going to get 35 bulbs. Every one of those should produce gorgeous flowers in spring and early summer next year. 600 241, part of the mix and match selection today. Now we are very excited. These are on my list. I haven't ordered them yet. I put 1 order in this week, but these are now on my second order list, and these are the muscari album. White muscari. We just tend to think of muscari being the purple grape hyacinths, but there is a white variety available right now.
Yeah, and these are them. So
yeah.
Bag off 30. You can go for 3 of these if you want and have 90 of them, or you can mix and match with the other bulbs we've got. Smaller bulbs, so you know, a bit easier for planting out. Just thinking of the multiples we've got. Smaller bulbs do. They're quicker and easier to plant. Plant these mixed in to, you know, where you've already got your purple grape hyacinths, and then have the purple and white combinations. I think a pot of these on their own, just that pure white, will be absolutely gorgeous as well. Very vigorous naturaliser, this one. So once you've planted them, they will spread and form that gorgeous carpet of colour, just like the purple ones. But neat and tidy. I love muscari for the fact that they disappear very quickly. And
do you know what I realised when you say will disappear? The leaves,
the leaves,
yeah.
The
and what I realised last year, because we had quite a wet spring, some bulbs really fall to pieces when it's wet and windy. You know, sometimes your crocus can go to mush, sometimes tulips can be destroyed overnight. But actually, muscari are really quite resilient because of the way the flowers are so compact and grouped together. They are really good at withstanding kind of poor spring weather. So they're very robust.
Growing, they're only going to reach about probably 15 centimetres maximum sort of height here. yeah, if you do get really windy days, they're not going to be affected by that.
And they grow brilliantly as a woodland bulb as well. So if you've got trees like I have and things like that, they are absolutely magnificent. But before you know it, over the next few years, you will have hundreds and hundreds of muscari. But it is that really beautiful white, pure white variety, the album 60115. And then so many of you today have gone for the Caribbean lily, the Silipruviana. It's something that we missed out on last year. We were both gutted. We're going to order it, and it left it too long. Then it sold out. Then we forgot about it. Then all these amazing pictures started coming in. We were both looking at each other going like, what?
We missed out.
Yeah. So really, really busy for these. Lots of you, I think, will probably just be going for 3 packs of these. I mean, that'd be a statement. You know where I've got my osteospermum purple sun? I've got 3 pots of those.
Yeah.
I'm thinking using those 3 pots and having 3 of these in each. That'd be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because you've got that. It's out on your patio bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
A lovely view in the background as well.
Yeah.
Looking out from your house.
And it's near my like palms and stuff. So, yeah.
God.
So you can plant these where you want. When I say where you want, with whatever the bulbs you decide to. But most people last year just planted these in pots by themselves, and that way you see all of the beauty. Because I think sometimes when you've got a really striking plant, you don't want to distract from it at all.
Yeah. It's a bit like the Gladiolus, you know, we talked about the Gladiolus that we saw in that picture. It's a plant that wants to be on its own because you don't want to detract from its beauty, and I think it's the same with this. I mean, by all means, you can do whatever you want. There are no rules, but this one is an absolute standout stunner. Love the way that it opens as well. You get those gorgeous sort of, I want to say rosette, but a cluster of those flowers. And just like in that picture, they open from the outside inwards, which just it elongates the period of interest, doesn't it? Because you're just going to watch them open up all the way through to the centre there. The darker blue in the centre, the lighter blue when they open up. It does look exotic, but it's totally winter hardy. It's not one that you need to worry about in, you know, giving it extra protection. And it's a definite showstopper. It will steal the show.
So I'm just looking there. Yeah, I am. I just like it's like it is so impressive, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I love to try weird and wonderful in my garden. Every year, we both always like look for new and interesting things.
Different.
Yeah, and that, if you've never grown the Caribbean lily, it's a must-have today, but it is selling really quickly. And loads are on the group chat. I've put it in your baskets, 630045. And say it's 3 for 2, so any of these you can mix and match, but if you want to just go for 3 bags of these, you can do. And they are big bulbs. They're a bit like, they're not quite an amaryllis size, but they're a big bulb. They're sort of, I would say like a hyacinth-sized bulb.
Yeah. Don't plant these ones too deep. I know we often say general rule is 2 to 3 times the depth of the height of the bulb. These want shallower planting, so just below the soil surface, basically, with these ones.
Now, something more traditional, but in a really great classic way, we have got our crocus coming up next, but these are the large flowered variety. And I don't really want to think about winter, but I do know, having been on this planet quite a few decades now, February is a pretty dire month. It's often the coldest month, actually. It's often colder than January.
Yeah, we always think, because my kids are always surprised, because obviously they think Christmas, and obviously all the marketing that comes with Christmas, they always think snow. And so they're always surprised, because after Christmas is finished, they're like, but it's still cold. Yeah. It stays cold.
And I mean, February can be absolutely dire, can't it? It can be the worst horrible month weather-wise. So we need cheering up in February. And when the crocus comes through, and often they do come through like frozen ground on a frosty morning, you just see these bursts of colour. It's actually really, really so beautiful and so refreshing and so uplifting. And I think the only thing with crocus is some of the flowers can be, on the smaller side, but these have been bred to give super jumbo size flowers, and they're going to be so impressive.
Really impressive. You know, it really does live up to its name. It is a large flower you get on here. And the yellow colour, I mean, I love the kind of blues and purple crocus, but this bright yellow colour is going to give you just so much more joy, I think. It makes us think of sunshine, it makes us think of warmth and heat. And in February, as Shaun was saying, in a cold month, that's what we want to look at.
And the great thing with planting crocus, they can pretty much go everywhere. So yes, they're brilliant in pots and hanging baskets because they're still really compact, but they look great in clumps around trees, beds and borders, hanging baskets. I think they look really nice sometimes just in little individual pots. You know, sometimes I've put them outside on steps in pots and things.
This is the beautiful thing about crocus, actually, because you can pretty much plant them anywhere in your garden. Shade, sun, pots, borders, under hedges, under trees. You know, they're so versatile, they can go anywhere.
The little tip I gave earlier, just because I planted a lot of crocus last year, and unfortunately February was really wet, and crocus, the flowers can go to mush quite quickly if it's heavy rain. So this year I'm going to put them in slightly more sheltered positions. So I'm going to put some under my trees and my shrubs and things like that, just so they get a little bit more protection. But you know, this February could be bone dry. Who knows? You know,
it's different every year.
It is.
It's a surprise.
And it gets more challenging. Something neither of us have grown, but again, it's on our list today, is the fritillaria, the snake's head.
These are award winners as well. So Royal Horticultural Society Award of Garden Merit. So they've trialled and tested them. Proven performers in your garden. Totally winter hardy as well. Which is amazing.
Yeah, because they don't look like they would be, do they?
They don't look like they would be.
No.
But these are absolutely fine. And now is the time to get them planted so that you can enjoy these displays in April and May time next year. I love the nodding flower heads. There's something so kind of romantic about that, isn't there?
There is, but then when you look at the petals close up, I mean, the patterns, the markings, they're just extraordinary, aren't they? They are.
These do thrive in sort of shaded woodland areas. So, you know, if you under your tree, absolutely perfect spot for these. Under planting, under your bushes and hedges and things like that, and then just adding that pop of colour that will come through in springtime, April and May. Really versatile, perennial, will naturalise, will multiply, but a very sort of romantic, whimsical nature to them.
And I mean, I just don't think I've ever seen a bulb with markings quite like that.
I know, they're incredible.
Aren't they amazing?
No.
Every single one of those. And I love the colour of them as well. It's kind of rich, kind of burgundy with that bit of pink in there. And obviously that bee's very happy there as well.
Very happy.
But I like the fact that they will do really well in those more shady areas, those difficult areas. 600, 133 for the fritillaria there. Snake's head, part of our mix and match for you right now. Right, we've also got 100 Dutch iris for you next. 100.
I know, that's a lot of bulbs.
It is for that price.
You could be getting 300 here with the 3 for 2, and 100 of them will be absolutely free.
So that's 10 pence a bulb for non-club members, 9 pence a bulb if you're a club member. It's 9 pence a bulb.
The colour mix I really enjoy here. I love the purples, the yellows, the whites. It wouldn't work as just a purple and yellow mix, I don't think. The white really just brings it together.
Yeah.
The blue that kind of brings this colour mix together. And irises are quite flamboyant flowers as well, aren't they? These do look like...
Well, I said like birds.
Birds,
yeah.
Absolutely, with the way that the petals open. A really reliable flower for you as well. Flowering sort of in springtime, we're talking... Oh, no. Yeah, springtime.
Yeah,
sort of late
it's a late spring.
With your iris. Absolutely beautiful, sturdy stems as well that'll, you know, withstand the British weather. They'll naturalise, but this is definitely about getting sort of big results for little effort, isn't it?
And you really get such an impressive display on these. I love the fact that they're reasonably tall, but they don't need staking or supporting. My mum did buy some miniature irises a few years ago. They look really sweet, but for me, they're a bit too small. These are really, really good size.
Yeah,
and
about 50, 60 centimetres.
Yeah, so, you know, in a good sized pot, they look really impressive, but great for the middle of the border. And say, flying that kind of like late springtime, 600 212. But I cannot believe that you and Elaine have not got any daffodils in your garden currently planted.
I am remedying that this year. I love daffodils and I don't know why I've never planted them.
To me, when the daffodils come out, spring is actually here.
Definitely.
And it's that celebration. And you get, spring has sprung when the daffs are out. And daffs always fly around about Mother's Day, Easter time. To me, they are everything that spring is about.
Absolutely, yeah. Bright, sunshine, yellow flowers that you get here. Really British in you know, its look and feel. I was reading about daffodils. Do you know the Romans planted daffodils thousands of years ago, and they often planted them in sort of memory of fallen comrades?
Well, I do know that.
That's how long they have been around.
Because if you were listening to me earlier, Bex, what did I
say that?
No, what sort of? Because I live in York. Have you ever been to York?
Oh yeah, of course, York.
So York has got the Roman bar walls all the way around.
Romans.
And what did I say?
You said they were around there once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were busy. Actually, to be fair, you were busy checking the group chat at that point. But yeah, I grew up in York, and the Roman walls surround the city, and they are covered in what must be hundreds of thousands of daffodils. And as a child, I remember getting on the number 4 bus, going into York.
The
number 4 bus from Foxwood Lane, going into the city, and I was fascinated by the daffodils. And I mean, tourists come from all over the world to see those daffodils.
Really?
Yeah.
I've been to York for years. My mum used to live there. My sister used to live there, but I haven't been for ages.
Well, if you do go in March when the daffs are out.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go. I'm going to add that to the trip.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm going to add that to my
You should, honestly, because it's really impressive. It really is.
It is a classic British favourite. These are nice big flowers as well. So these are the sort of 50 centimetre high ones. Mixture of varieties included in there as well. So you're not just getting the classic daffodils, you are getting a mixture. So you're getting the lovely double ruffled petals included in there and the different shades. So you've got the creamy white ones, the bright orange trumpets, the yellow trumpets. There's loads in there. It's a wonderful mix.
It really is. And if you leave daffodils in the ground, they do naturalise. You'll get more and more over many, many years. Just a little tip in general with all of your bulbs, and it is a general tip, but try and let them die down naturally. Don't be tempted once they flower just to hack them back and tidy them up, because the bulb needs to be refed. You need to let that foliage die down and refeed the bulb.
But if you do that, these can last you for decades.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there's daffodils that are known to have flowered for over a century, and they will just multiply and naturalise. So, you know, you should have them in your garden for many, many years if you just do what Shaun's saying.
And if you don't like to go through the process of watching them die down, and you know you've got to wait normally 6 weeks for the leaves to go brown, then you can take them off. Just put them in pots, and then when the pots go over, just move them to one side. I always think it's good to have extra pots so you can kind of rotate.
Yeah.
And don't forget, we've got those gorgeous blue ones on the show as well. But shall we go to what is the most ridiculous deal ever when it comes to bulbs?
Yeah, absolutely. So all of the ones you've seen, those are on the 3 for 2 offer. This sits outside that, but this is because this is your bulbs in a bag, basically. If you don't know which ones to go for, maybe this is the one that you go for, because you're getting 300 bulbs included in here. It's half price, we're saving £15, and you're going to get 7 different varieties.
Yeah, I was going to say, when you say bulbs in a bag, I was going to actually contradict it. Actually, it's bulbs in 7 bags. But we both right, because you get one big bag, and then you open it up, and there's 7 bags inside.
Yeah, so they
it's
are
amazing.
Labeled, so you know which one is which, just so you know where you're going to plant them. And we call it the Spring Flowering Bulb Collection, but this actually does trickle into summer as well. Great varieties. It's not a lazy collection. We haven't stuck a couple of duds in here to get rid of them. Every single one of the varieties you get in here is beautiful.
So we'll take you on our flowering journey, shall we? So we're going to start with a crocus. So they're going to flower, we said, about February time.
Yep. And then probably moving on to muscari. What would be next, do you reckon?
Yeah, I would say maybe, well, the tulips and muscari will be fighting together, but I think the narcissi would be next. They'd be March.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Narcissi. And these are the short ones, so these are called canaliculatus. Canaliculatus, yes, Martin, that's what they're called.
That is a proper name.
They are the lovely shorter varieties, so
yeah.
about 10 to 15 centimetres in height. I love the shorter varieties of daffodils because I just like the fact that you can plant them in more places.
So February, March, then probably the tulips.
Yeah, so gorgeous tulip triumph mix, lovely classic tulip shapes here in a variety of colours. Absolutely brilliant.
And then these are all going to be fighting to be next, aren't they?
Yeah, so I mean, muscari, Iphion, muscari, obviously you're going to get that lovely carpet of colour. The Iphion, we've got a new colour mix going on with the purple,
it's like a pink, isn't it?
Yeah. The pink and white we've included in here. Then the mollies, they're slightly later, so they're going to trickle starting into summertime, so about May and June those are going to come up. And then finally you've got the allium drumsticks, which are truly a summer flowering one. About end of July and into August, those start coming up.
Bex, that's amazing, isn't it? So we're talking February, March, April, May, June, July. By the way, sorry, this is the Kojo Nome on the screen that we're looking at right now. That is on the website, but we don't have it in the studio. So the clip of film you're looking at right now is a Kojo Nome. Some of you are asking about it, you've seen it on our website, but it's not in the studio, but it is there. This is a complete spring flying collection. There's the Spherocephalons there. We've got the Allium Molly, which is a gorgeous yellow allium around about May time. We've got the Mini Narcissi. They're going to pop up in about March. The muscari, often as grey parsons. They're like the albums that we saw earlier, but they are the purple variety. And then you've got the Iphion, who've got brand new colour mixes. And you've got the crocus in there. They're going to be the first to flower February time. Tulips, kind of April. What an amazing collection that is. And then finally, your allium drumsticks, which are going to be the last to flower after the mollies around about June, July time as well. And what I'm going to say is, do not be overwhelmed by planting 300 bulbs.
No.
A lot of them are quite small varieties, so you can literally, put your finger in a pot and just pop those in a couple of centimetres down.
I was like this last year, so I counted up, I planted something like 900 bulbs last year, and I remember just looking at the bags on the side and thinking, oh, and I've delayed doing the job for so long because I was looking at it. But do you know what? Once you get started, it's so quick and so easy. And as you say, look, some of them are teeny tiny bulbs, so very, very quick and easy. Yeah,
and do you know what? If you don't get round to planting them straight away, it's not the end of the world. No. Bulbs are quite forgiving. I planted them as late as November, December, and they've still come up. I did try and plant some last year at the end of January into February, and they weren't great, I'll be honest. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bag we found roaming around the potting shed and we tried it, but yeah. So, but you've really got September, October, November time to plant all of those. And if you do ever forget to plant a bag of bulbs, what's the worst can happen? If you leave it in the shed for another year, it's not going to do anything, but just see what happens. But try and get them planted September, October, November. But you don't have to plant them straight away. Don't wait. It's not like our plug plants. You can actually leave them in a cool, dark place and they'll be fine for several weeks. Right, where did this appear from?
I just went and got it.
I told you, yeah, Bex just nipped out. She's like, oh, I want to show you something.
Yeah, I love the Acers. I love all of the Acers. The Taylor is a particularly stunning variety, I think, because what you get on here are these beautiful pink leaves that you can see. Now, they sort of come out this bright, beautiful sort of salmon
stunning,
pink
isn't it?
And darker pink tones as well. But then as the leaves age, you get these lovely green tones coming in, and you get the variegation, you get the creamy whites with the pinks on there as well. Now, Acers are deciduous, so you might receive it looking fantastic as this is still at the moment with the leaves on. It's going to drop its leaves at some point soon, though, so I want you to be aware of that. But what you're doing is getting this in the ground or in your pots, and they're totally winter hardy. You don't need to worry about that. And then it's ready for you come the springtime once all of those leaves come through. And that is absolutely incredible, isn't it?
I've got Acer Envy right now.
I've got Acer Envy. This is not one that I've got, and I love this one.
I wonder why neither of us have got this one.
I know, it's silly.
Because it's so beautiful. I mean, I'll be honest, it is a little bit more expensive than some of the varieties, but it is more beautiful, isn't it?
It's so beautiful, honestly.
Now, what Bex and I tend to do when we're here at YouGarden, we're both here a few days a week, we always like to check out the nursery and go to our favourite, we call them tunnels. And if ever we've lost Bex, it's like, where's Bex today? I know where she is. She's in the Acer tunnel. Here she is, right now.
Hello there.
We can. It's tricky selling Acers at this time. I guess it's got a killer price on it.
I wish I had got that. I really haven't got it. I'd love it. I thought the Easefield looked good, Bex. Good demo. Yeah, it was a good demo, wasn't it? Yeah. I love you doubling up. Say that again. Could we mention the bark again?
Pots. The blue pots.
Yeah. Only because we had quite a lot of interest on the chat, so...
Which pots is it, Martin?
The blue ones, do you mean? Yeah. Okay.
Just wanted to make sure I wasn't running outside for another pot that I've left outside. I really thought I was on it and got everything. be there. These are filled with a slow-release fertiliser, so it's like a little capsule, it's like a little vitamin pill. So that capsule will break down and it will release the fertiliser into the compost. That's going to feed your plants for a good 5 to 6 months. So that's a brilliant thing for any plant you're planting in the ground. It means you don't have to be, you know, if you forget to feed your plants, don't worry, there is some in there. Of course, after 5 to 6 months, you're going to have to remember to feed your plants, but that's your insurance policy. It's in there.
And it's actually a very expensive ingredient, but you will find that throughout the compost. You've also got a pH buffer. That just makes sure this compost is pretty much perfect for all plants. The only exception are the acid-loving ones, things like your rhododendrons, camellias, blueberries. They will need an ericaceous compost, but pretty much everything else is fine here. We say from seeds all the way through to trees, and brilliant for your houseplants as well. It amazes me how many people, a lot of my garden club members say, oh, I'm no good with houseplants. And I'm like, well, do you ever repot them? Oh, no. No. So, you know, it amazes me. Yeah. People buy houseplants and never repot them for years. They never even feed them.
My husband did this with a dragon tree at Dracaena marginata.
Oh, I remember, yeah.
University, which is a lot of years ago now. This is how cool these plants are, because they just keep going. So he'd never repotted it. He did water it occasionally, but never ever repotted it. It was this tall, spindly little thing with a little bit of foliage at the top. And then he was like, I'm going to throw this away, it's dead. No, it's not dead. So I had to break the pot open. There was no compost left. It was just a root ball at the bottom. I subsequently repotted it in this, and it's gone from this tall, spindly little thing to this beautiful, luscious, lovely plant. It makes the world a difference.
I've been trying to repot all of my houseplants, and it does make such a difference. It really does. So loads of reasons to buy our compost, but it is an all-rounder. It is good for pretty much everything from seeds to trees, and it's our best-selling product here at YouGarden. And most importantly, it's the compost we use on our working nursery. It's a working nursery. We grow plants here. We put together ready-made hanging baskets here. We'll take bare root roses, maybe 150,000, grow them in this compost. So yes, it is the very, very best in our opinion. If there's a better one, we'd be using it on the nursery. Yeah. Right, we both love these pots, don't we?
Yes,
we are potty about these.
Absolutely adore these. So they've got that ceramic look to them, first of all. Gorgeous, shiny sheen that you've got on here that do look like a very expensive ceramic pot. But of course, you've got all the benefits here of it not being ceramic. First of all, it's tough. You know, if you drop it, it's not going to instantly crack and then become incredibly expensive drainage to put in your other pots. They're plastic, so they're lightweight, but it means that you can move them around the garden easily. But it's none of that nasty sort of, you know, petroplastic stuff. This is UV stabilised, frost resistant, so it's not going to last you just a season and then go brittle and crack and break. It's designed to last for years.
And what I love about it is it really has such a gorgeous finish. You look at this and yeah, you'd swear you'd bought a top-end ceramic pot and maybe spent 40 or 50 pounds. As it works out, they're working out £12.50 each. You have got the drainage in there. It's like one big drainage hole, but you have got, you can see that it's not going to sit flat to the ground, so there's plenty of little alleyways for any excess water to drain out from. If you're not sure, you might want to put a bit of extra grit or gravel in the bottom, but you are so right, Bex, that Acer would look stunning in there, wouldn't it?
That would look amazing, honestly, with the green foliage, with the pinks coming through and the blue in the, you know, at the base of the pot.
Yeah.
That would look absolutely incredible.
Oh, with some of our ornamental bark around it.
Bark around the top.
Yes.
And also just...
Oh, are you thinking of underplanting with some bedding or...?
Oh, you could underplant your Acers with them, but you know what? I was just going to grab some Echinacea because I love...
Yeah, I like that.
That idea as well.
I like that.
Obviously, it'll be a bit taller, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
That colour against the blue, I think that blue is really going to work gorgeously. Like if you were looking at summer, for example, the Helianthus, the Sunbelievable, the yellow of those flowers with the blue of that pot is going to look gorgeous.
Yeah.
Or Rudbeckia. Plant up a Rudbeckia in there, that would look pretty.
But I'm thinking lots of spring flying bulls. So imagine that big bag of daffodils in there.
Oh.
Wouldn't that look amazing? Imagine all the yellow daffodils just pouring out of here. I'm not sure about the Caribbean lily. I'm just whether it's like...
No, I think blue on blue.
Yeah, it might be too much.
The contrast.
I tell you what would look nice though, the crocus look great in here as well. But anyway, if you want to go for them, it is one for $19.99, but you can go for two. You can double up and just spend an extra £5 to get both of those. 130389 for that ceramic look, large mottled blue planter there as well. But don't forget, use that offer code. That will unlock all of the offers, YGTV 3724. That will give you all of the promotions that are still running. Now, my favourite item in my garden that I use all the time, and Bex is the same, are heavy-duty pots. And I've had mine over 10 years. I reckon I might even have something close to 15 years right now. And when it comes to growing, potatoes, raspberry canes, strawberries, tomatoes, brilliant for all types of growing. But they're also brilliant for just garden jobs, garden tidying. So if you're doing things like tidying up leaves, deadheading, weeding, these are big, they're 30 litres, but they're not going to break. A lot of those garden trugs that you buy are really like flimsy plastic. They're always bright coloured, aren't they? Like green and blue and pink or whatever. But quite often the handles rip off. Now, no matter how hard you pull, Bex, those handles, come on! Yeah. See? It's really hard. I've never broken one in all those years.
No, they do not rip off, honestly. They're very tough, which is brilliant if you're planting things in here. So in that video, you've got your Christmas trees planted in here.
Oh, yeah, have you got that, Martin?
So it's big and it's heavy, but it means you can carry them around your garden super easily. If it's really heavy, you can have one person on either side, and these handles are not going to rip off.
But this is genuinely me in the garden. This is what I do when I'm not here in the nursery, and you can get so much in there. That's my nightmare area with the eucalyptus tree that I'm thinking of putting bark on, because it's constantly covered with bits of eucalyptus and leaves and debris, but you get 30 litres. When my green bin was full the other week, I ended up having about 6 of these just full of garden, waste, and I stored it in there until the green bin had been emptied. I've got Christmas trees growing in there, and what I tend to do, I put those in the front of the house near Christmas time, but I just put some like hessian and things around them to make them look more attractive. But as we were saying, because of the two big handles, they are really easy to move around the garden as well. You've got great drainage in there, so it's pretty impossible to get anything in there waterlogged. I've got tomatoes still growing in there in the greenhouse right now, and I have to say I did a little trial with various things this year, but the tomatoes and the heavy duty did superb. And when you're just doing those garden tidying jobs, it's great to put all your tools in at once. And I've got a unanimous in mind there with a bit of a fuchsia growing by its side. Don't know what to do with that, so it's just tucked around the back till I decide. But great for putting your compost in as well. Sometimes when it's in a bag, the bag gets knocked over. It can be a little bit tricky, but I always put mine in my heavy duty pot and decant when I'm potting up and things like that in my greenhouse. So they are a brilliant item. They've got amazing reviews on our website, and you get 4 of those today for that incredible price of £17.99. In fact, club members, they were £4 each, bags, £4 and 5p.
I know, it's incredible,
each.
Isn't it?
It's amazing.
Sorry, everybody, about the sound. Hopefully you can hear me again now. I was just having a few problems with my microphone, and you've all commented, so thank you for letting us know.
That's what's so good.
But hopefully you can hear me now. I think I'd flicked the button accidentally.
Oh, okay. So you're only hearing Bex through me?
Yeah, so let us know. Hopefully you can hear us now, and or me at least, and everything's fine. But I'll keep hold of this, let me know. And
if anything's on, if my collar's sticking up at home, let us know, okay? If my hair's out of place, actually, no, you'd be messaging all the time about that. But yeah, no, we always love it. If anything's not quite right, occasionally we were out of sync the other week, weren't we?
Yeah.
And again, you let us know.
You're very good at letting us know.
You are, so thank you so much.
Apologies, though. I mean, to be honest, you don't always want to hear what I'm saying anyway, so...
That's not true.
Let's talk about rattan hanging baskets, shall we? Because this is a quad pack that you're going to get. You're looking at 2 here, but this item number will include 4 of these, which I think is brilliant, because it's incredible value for money. It works out at, what did we say, £5.50 each, or less than that, just slightly less than that if you're in the club. But we like the rattan style that you've got here.
Yeah, I mean, we all love different things, but I think if you're going for a bit more of a natural look, yeah, the rattan, I think it always looks really quite sophisticated. And again, my mum's got a little country cottage that she lives in, a little cottage, and this kind of look really, really works. Now, the chains I've included of course. They're a good size though, they're 14 inches, so you can get 12, 14, 16, but the 14 I think is that really good medium size. Anti-twist as well?
Yeah, so as you can see, look, as it twists around, if it's blowing around in the wind, it will just gradually right itself, so you don't need to worry about that at all. And they're going to last you for a long time, of course, you know. These can be reused year on year. Maybe you've only got 2 hanging baskets. Well, this quad pack is brilliant. I only have a space for 2 hanging baskets, got them outside the front of the house. But I never want to destroy my summer hanging baskets in order to create my winter baskets. Well, I can start my winter baskets off, keep my summer ones going for as long as possible, and then just switch them over. You know, you've got the option to do that.
So if you have got the budget, it is nice if you have got a second set of hanging baskets, because I think it's really hard when sometimes you leave it till the very last minute to empty summer baskets. Quite often they keep looking good and good, and then one day they go over.
They're just gone then.
And then if you leave it too late to plant up your winter ones, they don't get enough time to establish. And I've done that, I've made that mistake. I've planted up winter hanging baskets at the pub in November, and they've been rubbish till the end of February. So do get them now, and that price is amazing. Particularly for rattan, they tend to be a little bit more expensive. 4 of those, it works out just over £5 each for club members. About £5, I think it's about £5.17. But there's loads of the pots on our website.
Loads of them available. If you go to YouGarden.com, if you click onto, there's a little red section that says live now.
Yes.
Or if you scroll down slightly, you can go into our show page. And then if you scroll through, you can see all of the items that we have selected for the show today. But of course, you can shop the entire website if you want to. And there's thousands of products available on there, isn't there?
They really are.
Just always use that code that you can see there, YGTV3724. It's very important because that unlocks the deal. So anything that's got a saving or a buy one get one or a mix and match with the 3 for 2s, it's unlocked by entering that code. If you don't put it in, you'll pay full price, and we don't want that for you.
And I only made that mistake once, and I never ever made
Never
it
did
again.
it again.
It was after a large glass of wine, and it was about my 8th order that day. But let's remind you, it really was. Let's remind you of what you've seen today on YGTV live this Sunday, of course. So these are just beautiful. They are the Daffodil Narcissus mixed collection. 25 really good sized bulbs. They're all really firm, they're all really strong, and these will flower March time. Get to a height of about 25 centimetres. Just thinking actually, the size of the clusters, I thought they were big. All of our bulbs are graded, and those are size 12 to 14. So they're a really big, strong sized bulb. And you get lots of lovely varieties with the daffodils. So you get orange trumpets, cream trumpets, white trumpets, double trumpets, a phenomenal selection. And daffodils are one of the best bulbs to spread, to naturalise. You should get more and more, and they can last you decades and decades and decades. So you can mix and match. There's 7 different varieties you can mix and match in terms of our bulbs, but those are 600,180. Then we brought you the Dutch iris. These are kind of a mid-size iris, gets about 50, 60 centimetres. You've got all of these double and tricolours. To me, they look like gorgeous exotic birds, and they look fabulous in clumps. And those again are going to start flying kind of late springtime into early summer. 600,212 if you'd like to go for the Dutch iris mix. Now, loads of you have been commenting and saying you're going to order the gorgeous snake's head, and these look like, to me, they look like they're going to be really hard work to grow, but not at all. They're a very easy bulb to grow. They actually do really well in a shady position, so woodland areas, under trees, things like that. But it's all about the markings on those flowers, because they genuinely do look like a snake's head. They are so, so beautiful. They're quite extraordinary, aren't they? When you look at those, just unbelievable, actually. And you get 30 of those for £9.99, 601.33. Now, from extraordinary and weird and wonderful to absolute classics, we've got the crocus, large flowered yellow crocuses, and these will flower February time. So that's normally the month that these come out. So obviously it depends where you live, but they're the second to flower after the gorgeous snowdrops normally. Now, this is a particularly good variety because you've got really large flowered crocus here. They're bigger than your traditional varieties, and I don't like February as a month. I think January and February are my least favourite months of the year, but when the crocus start to bloom, my word, it is such an inspiration, isn't it? You realise that actually spring is just around the corner, summer isn't that far off. And what I'm going to say about crocus, you can plant them anywhere, so pots, containers, hanging baskets, beds, borders, but what I will say is, last year mine got a little bit damaged by the heavy rain. It was such a shame, but they went over so quickly because of the heavy rain. So if it's a wet February again this year, plant them in a more sheltered position. Plant them under trees and things like that. You can even, of course, plant those in your lawn. 600-084 for the large flowered yellow crocus. So I've already placed my order. I know you have at home. We are now looking at the stunning, wonderful, exotic Caribbean lily known as the Silipruviana, and this one was pretty much the most talked about bulb that we sold last year. It sold out actually. We've got it back this year and it is extraordinary. It looks a little bit like a cross between a hyacinth and an allium, but I think it's even more breathtaking. It's striking and it just looks good by itself. And I think blue is a lovely colour to have in the garden, don't you? I love blue in the garden, it's one of the rarer colours. But the blue with almost like the little bit of lime there. And then the foliage is really nice. It's actually got quite strong foliage. They are big bulbs, and that's why they produce these really big, strong flowers. And again, they're part of the 3-for-2 mix and match. The Silipruviana 630045. Now, I'm sure many of you will be familiar with grape hyacinths. Mini hyacinths, known as grape hyacinths. Did you know there's a white variety now, which is called muscari album? So pure white. These flower kind of May time. They again love being in slightly shady areas, woodland areas. They naturally naturalise. I'll start that one again, but they spread. You get little baby bulbs forming, so you can get more and more of these. And I mentioned it earlier, but we learn a lot from gardening, don't we? And again, compared to some of the bulbs that can get damaged in bad springs, things like your tulips, sometimes in a heavy wind, the flowers can go over very quickly. These are actually really resilient to adverse weather conditions because the flowers are actually really small and compact. So they're a really good one. So if it's not particularly good spring, they are really, really very, very robust little bulbs. These 600-115 for the muscari album, the white variety there. Then we brought you the Gladioli, a mid-sized one, so they're not the really tall ones. These are the Gladiolus byzantinus, and they are a mid variety, about 60 centimetres. Really quite delicate compared to some of the other Gladioli out there, and I love that cerise pink colour that you've got as well. It's really, really pretty. And these look great en masse. I think they've got a lovely kind of natural look to them. 600-241. And then we have got a buy 12, get 12 absolutely free on the Cottage garden perennials. So you will get a mixture of perennials. We're just giving you an example of some of them, but it could be anything from things like hollyhocks. You may get gaillardias in there. You may get things like salvias, geums, all sorts in there. But all of them will be fully winter hardy. All of them will give you colour for many, many years to come. And all they need is a little bit of growing on. So I'd put them in pots and grow them on. And then in springtime, when they're just coming back a little bit more established, you can put them in your beds and borders. That's one of the hollyhocks that you may get, or campanalas, all sorts in there. But they are tried and tested, and they will give you colour and pleasure in your garden. There's one of the salvias we're looking at for many, many years to come. 200-347. And then something that I've got in my garden, I've done a whole border of it, and it is the Erigeron, the sea of blossom, the Mexican flea bane. And this is one of those plants that really thrives in poor soil and poor conditions. So as long as it's well drained, it likes a bright spot, well drained soil, but it'll do well in gravel gardens, rockeries, anything like that. And it flowers from about April, May, all the way through to October time. And they're like little daisy flowers. So when they come out, they're white. And then as they age, they turn through various shades of pink. I never deadhead mine, don't really feed it. Chop it back in late autumn, and it bounces back every single year. And it's a great ground cover plant, this one. It just covers can even actually spread to about 1 metre. So each plant can actually eventually spread up to about 1 metre in terms of width. 410120 for the Sea of Blossom, and it is on the 3 for 2 offer. Now I've also got some garden ready plants for you. And these are the primula, Primlets. These are really sweet, really gorgeous flowers because they're doubles, so they are like little rosettes. Compared to a lot of primulas, these are a lot more attractive. I think there's a lot more to them. Beautiful colour mix as well, so yellows and reds and whites and pinks and oranges in there. And these are going to give you that colour when you most need it. So autumn, winter, springtime. Then they are fully winter hardy. You'll get bigger clumps that will form, you can divide those, spread them around, but they will give you so much colour for so many years. And that is an amazing price for 20. Garden ready, so you don't need to grow those on. They can go straight in the ground or your containers or your hanging baskets straight away this month. 410197. And then we've also got the Polyanthus. And these two, of course, related, but these have got the flowers on the longer stems, so you've got a little bit more height to these. Both the primulas and the Polyanthus, you want to keep deadheading, so keep taking the dead flowers off. Don't ever let them get too waterlogged. They won't want to ever be in a pot swimming in water, so make sure it's well drained. But they will even do well in the shadiest of positions as well. You often find these growing around shrubs and trees and things like that. 410012 for the Polyanthus Spring Fever. And then we've got some of our plug plants that you just need to grow on a little bit. So you get more for your money on these, you get 60, but these are called the Pro Plus plugs, the Bellis Bell. So all you need to, when you get them home, give them good water and then pot them on. You can even use things like our Propagator kit or any pots you've got, 9 centimetre pots. Just grow them on, and within the next, I would say, 3 to 4 weeks, they should be of a good enough size to go straight outside. Well, you can still, I should say, you can grow them on outside in pots and containers, but to actually plant them into their permanent home, just grow them on a little bit and then put them in your beds and borders and your containers, your hanging baskets, and they're going to give you these fabulous balls of colour. I love the pinks and the crimsons and the whites that you've got there. Almost like, I don't know, almost like snowballs, aren't they? 401163. Then we also have violas. These are the Valentino mix. 60 Pro plugs, same principle. You just need to grow them on until they're a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, but you're going to get all 60. And these are violas, so just like pansies, just a slightly smaller flower, but you get masses of them, and they do give you that winter colour from, I would say, starting to flower pretty much right now into October, November, December, all the way through into those early summer months. 401154. And then we've also got the Dianthus for you. Again, these are Pro plugs. All winter hardy, 60 of these for £12.99. And we've called them gems because you've got some really lovely colours that you'd see things like rubies this colour, wouldn't you? Certain types of sapphires, some of the rarer sapphires as well. But they're really strong colours. A lot of these are bi-coloured, you can see, so you've got different colours. You've sometimes got tricolour there actually when you look closely. In, of course, these gorgeous Dianthus that will come back year after year. 401164 for the Dianthus gems. And to grow these on, yes, you can grow them on in pots and containers, but actually a really clever and a neat way of growing these on is using the triple pack windowsill propagator kit. So this is a very, very clever and neat system that allows you, if you haven't got a greenhouse, to grow plants on your windowsills until they're fully established, and you can grow up to 90 at the same time. 120034 for the triple pack windowsill propagator kit there. That is only £8.99. In fact, club members, you'll get that for £8.09. But we are nearly out of time. We've got about 15 minutes or so left. And Bex has just got, she's modelling the Propagator kit for us. I really like this.
Yeah, I just thought I'd show you.
Yeah,
it's a fantastic little kit. So you get the 3 bits at the bottom.
So the main trays.
These don't have any holes in the bottom, but as Shaun pointed out earlier, you can see there are grooves in the bottom, which if you overwater, it does mean that there's somewhere for the water to sit, not right in the roots. Each of these just slots into here, and you get, is it 5? Yeah, 5 per Propagator kit. And you also get the lid to go on as well. You don't need that for everything, like you probably wouldn't need it for the Pro Plugs, but it is there for you if you need that.
And it is amazing, when you use this as a professional growing system, things do grow so much quicker and
really
faster.
do.
It's incredible, it really is.
I've got it, and I grew the Pro Plugs in it last year. If you're doing seed sowing, they're fantastic for getting your seeds started. And of course, they are reusable as well. So once you've finished doing what you're doing with it, you're just going to stack all of this up together like so, and then the lids can just sit on the bottom there, so it's nice and neat and compact and tight. You can tidy it away.
And there really is a lot of satisfaction growing things on when you take that plug plant and then grow it into a full-size plant, and you know you've only spent pennies on the Pro Plug. It's rewarding, isn't it?
It's definitely rewarding, yeah. I saw this great video of somebody saying it's a low-level flex that people are doing on you when they say, I grew this from seed. That's a gardener flexing their muscles at you, basically. It's so true.
It is true. Yeah, you're right. I love
I
to
grew
say
this
that.
from seed.
When somebody sees something wonderful from a garden, you say,
I grew it from seed.
Yeah, I grew it from seed.
Or I grew it from a baby Pro Plug.
Yeah, it's all my work. That's how good I am.
Check out my gardening muscles.
Yeah, that's very funny. It's true that. I do that, don't you?
And that's you flexing on other gardeners. Yeah, I grew that.
Or I'll kind of say, yeah, I grew that from a cutting. Yeah. So, flex those gardening muscles. I like that. That's made me laugh. But it's a brilliant kit, that one. And it is, look what you're spending. £8.99. If you're a club member, £8 and £9. And I'll be honest, I used to have one of those. I'm lucky I've got a greenhouse now, but I didn't have a greenhouse for most of my life. So I used to use those, but I gave mine on to a friend.
Yeah.
You know? So
mine are great. They grow out on the windowsill in the conservatory, but you can put them on a windowsill anywhere because they're designed to fit on there. So it's a brilliant kit.
And they don't leak. Remember, the actual main tray is solid, so you're not going to ruin your paintwork or anything like that. Right.
Last 10, 15 minutes. So we've got to do favourites table, and we've got to do our bulb collections as well for you before the end.
And don't forget, very quickly, I know most of you regulars know this, but if you are new, maybe you just found us, maybe you just popped on YouTube, typed in YouGarden, and hey, there we are. There's a special offer code every single show, which today is YGTV3724. That unlocks all the promotions.
That's it.
So any promotion like the 3 for 2, any kind of buy one get one's free, the free magazine that you get today, you need to put that code in. And that code also means that if you spend over £40, what do you get?
Free postage, which is capped at £6.99. So under £40, you'll only pay the one postage cost. Over £40, as long as you put that code in, you will get absolutely free postage. And nothing demonstrates how this code is going to work better than a couple of items on here. The Lobelia Queen Victoria, look at the price on screen right now. It's £6.99. But look at the saving, £22.98, unlocked by putting that code in.
And when you bear in mind, this is such an amazing variety of Lobelia.
Love it.
£2, 10 each for club members.
Absolutely gorgeous.
And yes, I know you've got your £6.99 postage, but that does cover your entire order. So if you spend under £40, it's £6.99 for your order. Over £40, it'd be free. But we were saying there's a drama about this type of Lobelia. It's striking, it's bold, isn't it?
It makes you stop and look. When you see this growing in somebody's garden, if you're walking past their garden, you will stop and look at it. So don't do that. Stop and look at it in your own garden instead. Gorgeous dark foliage, bright scarlet red, exotic and flamboyant looking flowers on there. Pretty hardy as well, down to about -5, so maybe just a little bit of extra winter protection. And also here, go for the strulch, because unfortunately the slugs and snails do like the new growth on Lobelia. So get yourself some strulch, it'll do those 2 jobs for you. Give it the winter protection and stop it from stop the slugs and snails from eating it.
And don't forget, this one does grow tall. You know, we say sort of like 60 to 90 centimetres. But who was it that sent in that really huge one? Was it Elaine?
It was Elaine, yeah. She had a freak Lobelia Queen Victoria that grew ridiculously tall.
It looks about nearly a metre and a half.
I know, it looked crazy. It should only get to about 3 feet in height.
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous. Will form clumps. You can spread it around your garden as well.
And don't forget, hardy, as we said, to -5. So most parts of the country, it'd be fine. But if it's a particularly bad winter, we don't need that, I know. But if it is, just give it that protection. Then, one of your favourites, the Rudbeckia Goldsturm.
I love it. I think it's so pretty. I think it's gorgeous. It's bright yellow. It's sun shining. But also, it is a later flowering one. So, in our gardens at the moment, unless you're Andrew, a lot of the summer...
So he's one of our regulars and his garden always looks amazing.
A lot of the summer stuff is starting to go over. It's, you know, looking... just a bit tired now. It's done its day. Rudbeckia is still looking fantastic, and it looked fantastic from the moment those flowers appeared. For me, about 5-6 weeks ago, those flowers still look incredible, and I've not touched it. I just leave it alone. Looks fantastic en masse like this. It looks great if you want to plant it in amongst other plants in your garden, create that cottage garden feel. And both of these, the Lobelia and the Rudbeckia, are award winners. RHS AGM, proven performers in our gardens.
And don't we love it when plants just flower and flower with very little love and attention? You know, it's so good, and they really do. I mean, Adam Wilcott, one of our gardeners here, who presents the shows with Bex and I, he's done these en masse, and they just look incredible.
Absolutely,
they really do.
Brilliant, yeah.
So rewarding on so many different levels, 560076, and again, you are getting 3 of those in 9cm pots for $6.29 for club members.
Go for both of those. Go for both of
them.
them.
Go for this entire table.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you can afford, you know, at this price, hopefully you can afford it. Then the Echinacea, the Papallo orange. I love the colour of this one.
It's a gorgeous colour, yeah. And you've got the lovely reflexed petals here, that proud button centre there, incredibly wildlife friendly. And that button in the centre really does invite the pollinators in.
They feel really strange, don't
Solid,
they?
aren't they? Really, really sturdy.
And you can see all of that pollen in there, can't you?
Yeah, the yellow bits you can see.
Yeah.
So for the pollinators, this is a fantastic one. Again, it's going to come into its own in summertime, around July, but it keeps going for you in through to September. Looks great as a cut flower, but a really long-lasting one on the plant outside.
And yours may well arrive in flower right now. If they don't, they may have been cut back. Don't be disappointed, because just get them established for next year. September is a brilliant time to plant your perennials and really give them a head start rather than planting them in springtime. And all of these, say the Rudbeckia and the Echinacea, those two, fully winter hardy, as is the Verbena bonariensis, one of my absolute favourites. All of these are winners, aren't they?
I love them, and I love the idea of them all together. So Verbena's going to be tall, you know, really tall and willowy. The Echinacea slightly in front of there, and then the Lobelia there, and the Rudbeckia. They're just going to look absolutely brilliant together. Verbena bonariensis, RHS AGM, RHS perfect for pollinators, winter hardy, super easy to grow, lovely tall willowy stems you've got on here, and the pollinators adore it.
And they just have so many flowers on.
So many.
I mean, you look at all the individual, like little pom-poms of these sort of like mauve-coloured flowers, and they're everywhere on the plants. So you get them all the way up the stems. They just keep going and going. And you may choose to chop these back in autumn. But what I did, and I'm going to do it again this year, I left the flowers to go over because they still actually look quite attractive.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
And then mine's self-seeded, and I have got so many. I must have about 100 brand new plants from the 6 that I bought from YouGarden. I mean, not everyone's going to get them to reseed, but hey, I got mine to reseed.
Flex.
No, I do think, I'll be honest, I think mine are in pretty good well-drained soil, and that probably helps.
Yeah.
But they're known to reseed and self-seed, I should say. But they are beautiful, and to get 3 today at that price
I found one
incredible.
in a pot the other day, so just
just
randomly just grown up in one of the pots. So I took it out of the pot and I put it into the border. So next year that'll grow into a full-grown plant.
And these have actually been trimmed back, so these obviously flowered already. They were trimmed back, you can tell, and yet they've got some new growth coming on.
Yeah, I love it.
So absolutely amazing, and all you need is a sunny spot and well-drained soil. There's a very famous gardener who always has these in his garden when you see him on the telly.
Yeah.
Yes. And then we've got Pansy Cool Wave.
Pansy Cool Wave garden ready. Buy one, get one free. So put one of these into your basket and enter the code. We'll put another set of these into your basket. So you're going to get 20 in total. Now, these are the best when it comes to your autumn. I mean, hanging baskets, but pots as well. So these are going to tumble, cascade around. If you're going for the easy fills, the ball of colour you'll get from this in your hanging baskets will be incredible. In pots, they'll tumble and cascade over the edges of those pots as well. So you just get this lovely sort of waterfall effect, spreading by about 30 centimetres. Each one of these, 30 by 30 centimetres. 10 months worth of colour you'll get out of these, and stupidly hardy.
Months. I mean, that is just ridiculous. The only other plant that we say flowers for 10 months is the Bowles Mauve. That is the only other one that we say will flower for 10 months. And if you look at our website, we do show these flower for 10 months. They tend to just stop flowering. They go a bit dormant in July and August. It's just too hot for them. I know that feeling. Although it wasn't this year. But you can actually get them to keep going for many years. So they're not just an annual winter bedding plant. They will actually come back the next year, but just chop them down in July and August, put them in a slightly shady area, then start feeding them, and they will bounce back for the following year. But a lot of people just grow them as annual. It's up to you. 400,967, and it is a buy 10, get 10, absolutely free. But they are just the best flying pansy we know. They just do not stop. And I know I got my mum to try Cool Wave a few years ago, and she was like, oh, I don't see any difference. But she did when she grew them. So, you know, it's just when they arrive, she's like, oh, well, they don't look any different. They're slightly smaller, actually, than traditional pansy, but it's just how they perform. They've been bred just to flower and flower and flower non-stop for 10 months of the year. They're
definitely the best for hanging baskets, but it's great in pots as well. Now, we've only got about 3 minutes left. We've got 7 varieties of bulbs to take you through. Let's see if we can do them all, shall we?
Yeah,
Mixed daffodils over at the end here. These are the lovely taller daffodils, about 50 centimetres in height, but you're going to get a mixture of varieties included.
So that's one of your mix and match. Choose whatever you want. You basically put 3 in your basket, you pay for 2. Then we've got the Dutch iris. These are going to get to about 60 centimetres. You get 100 of these. All of these fabulous colours, yellows, whites, purples. A lot of them are bi and tri-coloured, but they look great in clumps. And they're going to be flying kind of late springtime.
Yeah, next we've got the fritillaria. We're both excited about this one because neither of us have grown them. I know that you've been adding them in. I think I remember Neil saying he's added these into his basket. Well done. You'll get 30 of these bulbs. Of course, you can get 90 if you want to in the 3 for 2. Classic spring flowering bulb for you, sort of April and May time is what I'm talking about, the time it flowers. But these will work in shady spots in your garden. So under planting, under trees and hedges and things like that, that will be the perfect location for them.
I can't wait to see those next year. Then we've got the crocus. Now, you cannot have a spring garden without crocus because these are the first really to show colour. After the snow drops, the crocus come up in sort of February time, and they just give you that sort of like that bit of hope that actually spring is almost here and summer's on its way.
And then we've got the Caribbean lily on the end here. This is one that we are definitely going to get our hands on this year. It's very exotic looking, very beautiful, works gorgeously just on its own because it is quite a standout one. They're bigger bulbs, don't want to be planted quite as deep as the others, but you will get 3 in a pack, so you could get 9 of these if you want to.
What would you say if I told you it sold out?
I'd be so mad because I haven't placed my order yet.
Yeah, well, don't worry, it hasn't sold out, but don't miss out a
so
second
mad.
time. And then over here, the final 2 we've got there, we've got the grape hyacinth, the muscari. You'll know the grape hyacinth, it's like the mini hyacinth, but this is the white version, which we very rarely see, called the album. And what I love about these, again, they'll do well in kind of shady areas under trees. They naturalise, they spread. You'll end up with loads and loads of these over the next few years. And then finally,
the Gladiolus. Now, these are slightly shorter, but they are going to add height and drama and a lovely shade of colour included in there as well. So you just need to pick which ones you're going to go for. It's 3 for 2. Put 3 in your basket, enter the code. One of them will come up free. They're all the same price. You don't need to worry about that.
No. And don't forget, you always need to use that offer code. And not only will you get all of the offers, but you will get your free magazine. And this is the latest. You won't get this one, actually. You'll get September the 14th. And this is the Garden News. It's the UK's biggest selling garden mag. All the top gardeners, like, look in here. We've got Nick Bailey, Carol Klein, Peter McDermott. They all write for this magazine, and you're going to learn so much from reading it. So we are almost out of time. What a show that was.
I know, that was great fun. Let's do it all again on Thursday. If you want to come back on Thursday, we'll be here from 10 o'clock in the morning with a brand new show.
And well done to Martin. He did the show today.
Yay,
not Stu.
well done, Martin.
Well done, Martin. And thank you to each and every one of you.